What is up, guys? My name is Darrel, and today I'm really excited to introduce you all to my newest tutorial. I'm going to show you all how to create a web hosting business from scratch with no experience required. Now, if you guys have always wanted to create a website, kind of similar to GoDaddy or HostGator, where people can come to your website, purchase a domain and web hosting, today in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can do that. Now, let me just give you all an example of what you can expect to learn in this tutorial. So this is my web hosting business, pihost.com. Now guys, this is a full demo website, so please don't buy anything on this website. It's just for tutorial purposes. So right here, I'm gonna go to Get Started Now. Now I have 3 packages right here, and you can offer these same services on your website. You can offer whatever prices, whatever packages you want on your website. So right here, I have the starter package, the basic package, and the premium package. And each package offers like a different amount of space or bonuses or whatever you wanna offer your clients. So right here, I'm gonna select the basic package. Now, in your website, you'll have a domain registrar, so people can actually see if certain domains are available on the internet. So right here, I'm gonna select something like I love namehero.com. Now you can also select the .net, .org, .biz. You can select whatever you want, just like a regular web hosting business. You can also, have people transfer their domains from another registrar. So I'm gonna select check. Let's see if this is available. All right, and awesome, it is available. Now upon that, guys, you guys can actually offer like 2 years or 3 years to register the domain, and they can also purchase like the other like the other .org or .net or .co, whatever they want. They can purchase all of those on your website. So I'm gonna go to continue. And right here we have the basic package. Now you guys can offer billing cycles. You guys can offer add-ons. You guys can add whatever you want for your web hosting business. So right here we have billing cycles. I have monthly, semi-annually, and annually. Now you guys can have like a 2-year, 3-year policy or 3-month policy, whatever you want. So right here, I'm going to select semi-annually. And then right here, I'm going to go ahead and select like a domain privacy protection, and we'll select site lock, and that's about it for now. All right, so remember, you can offer whatever services you want for your website. You can offer anything else. So right here, I'm gonna go to continue, and you guys will notice the price will adjust. So whatever add-ons you select, it will adjust. So right here, I have the basic package. I have the domain privacy, registering domain. Now you'll also be able to give your customers coupon codes. So if you want to give them coupon codes, I will show you to that in this tutorial today. And then from here, they can go ahead and check out, and they can go ahead and purchase everything. Now guys, your clients will actually get their own cPanel and all their little client area, just like any other web hosting business. So they will be able to manage their domains, they will be able to manage their web hosting. And guys, we are using the platform WHMCS. Now, this is an automated software, and it basically creates the cPanel for them. It creates everything for them, so your entire website is automated. And websites like A2hosting.com use this same exact platform. We're not using some, dinky software. We're going to be using what big companies like namehero.com, A2hosting.com, and also webhostingpad.com. They all use the WHMCS software because it's incredible, guys. It's simply just, it automates everything. People can actually come to your website, purchase a domain and hosting, install WordPress, and start creating websites on their own without you having to intervene or do anything else. And you will also have your own dashboard where you can see pending orders. If people have a problem, like tickets, you can see your invoices, and it's a very simple, easy to use interface. It's pretty self-explanatory. Pending orders, tickets, cancellations, and you have all these other options right here. But we will talk more about all of this a little bit later in this tutorial. Now, this is a very simple, easy to use platform, guys, and it's just really the matter of you watching the tutorial and learning it. So in this tutorial, I recommend having some knowledge of WordPress. Now, just basic stuff like what's a WordPress theme, what's a WordPress plugin. Remember, there's nothing complicated, there's no coding in this, it's very simple. But if you guys have never used WordPress before, I highly recommend that you watch my other tutorials on how to make a WordPress website before watching this tutorial. After that, we are going to purchase our reseller hosting from namehero.com. There is a link in the description of this video. It will take you to that page. And upon purchase, guys, you guys will also receive a free WHMCS license, which is the automated software that we use. You guys will also be able to get a free domain, free SSL. They got a bunch of free good. It's a party over there. They offer a lot of good stuff. And after that, we are going to install WHMCS and WordPress. And then we are actually going to invite Ryan from NameHero.com, and he is the owner of NameHero.com. He's going to help you all set up your website with WHMCS because NameHero actually focuses on reseller hosting. So they are the guys to go to, and they have amazing customer support. I have an account with them. I've used them. Whenever there's a problem, you can just give them a call or submit a ticket, and they will answer all of your questions. And lastly, you will also receive 2 free Divi layouts that will help get you started with your website. Now go ahead and click on the link in the description. It will take you to a page that looks very similar to this right here. So this is NameHero's reseller hosting packages. And guys, I require the corporate package because with the corporate package, you actually get the free WHMCS Plus license already included. Now, if you guys try to actually purchase the license outside of NameHero, it's going to cost you an additional $18.95 a month plus whatever your hosting is. But with NameHero.com, it's already included in the package. So I highly recommend that you guys get it from NameHero.com and also the corporate package. So right here, I'm going to go to choose corporate. All right, and we're going to register our domain. So go ahead and put your domain. I'm just going to put something like a NameHero tutorial for you. There we go. And you guys can also select, .net or whatever you want. But right here, I'm just going to go to .com and go to check. See if this is available. And it is available. So right here, I'm going to go to continue. And I'm going to go ahead and walk you guys through the process. So, I won't leave anything out so you guys can, not get lost or, I'm step by step. I always do step by step my tutorials. So right here, we have like the billing cycles. And remember, you will also be able to do this on your own website. So right here, we have like the 1 month, the 6 month, and the 12 month. I recommend the 6 or the 12 months. They'll kind of give you enough time to decide if NameHero is for you. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and I'll do 6 month. And then we can also set the backups right here. So right here, I'm going to select like maybe like 30 gigs or something like that. I think it's like $2.99 a month or $3.99 for the year or something like that. And also right here, you guys can see we get the WHMCS Plus license already included. Now that'll save you an additional, $100 something a year. So you actually get a really good deal when you go to NameHero.com and purchase the reseller hosting account through them. So right here, I'm going to go to continue. And here you can go ahead and purchase any other add-ons you want for your websites. Now remember, you guys will also be able to offer these same exact services to your customers with this software. So that's pretty cool. Now I recommend the ID protection, guys. I get spammed with so much junk with people offering me crazy services and they're just nonsense. People are crazy out there. So I recommend the ID protection because it will greatly help reduce the amount of spam that you guys get. So right here, I'm gonna go to continue. All right, so right here we see the cost. We have the corporate hero package. We have the license, which is free. And then we also have the domain registration. In the future, if I ever get a coupon code, I will let you guys know. I will probably put it in the description so you guys can get a pretty good deal. So right here, I'm gonna go to checkout. All right, so right here, you can go ahead and enter all your information in. So right here, you put your name, your address, your email. Right here, you can also put your support pin. Now remember, that is how they verify you. So basically, if you call with questions, they're gonna want your support pin, and that will basically verify that it's you that's calling. And then right here, you put like a password, and then credit card and PayPal. I'm gonna use PayPal, so I'm going to go ahead and meet you on the next page. All right, so I just purchased my package from NameHero.com. Now I'm gonna go ahead and say, that was pretty easy. And yeah, I'll submit the feedback. I'll say easy to use, easy to use. All right, and then right here, they give you an order number. And then right here, you can go ahead and go to your client area. So right here, we have the domain, we have the cloud web hosting, and then this is basically your portal. So guys, remember, if you have any questions with anything, like you submit a ticket right here, or if you want to order new services, you can do that. Or if you want to register a new domain, you can do that right here. Okay, so this is basically your client area. So let's go ahead and take a look at our progress. So we've already got our hosting. Congratulations, we have our WHMCS license. We are ready to go. After that, we are going to change some settings. We are going to install WHMCS and WordPress. After that, I'm going to install our theme and our layout, and then we're going to invite Ryan over, and he is going to help us continue this tutorial because he is the reseller hosting and WHMCS guru. So once you guys are in your client area, I want you guys to go to Cloud Web Hosting. And then right here, I want you to click on Manage Product. And right here, you have the option to log into your cPanel. So this is where all the magic happens, all the fun stuff. So you guys will get like a welcome message, like, hey, welcome, you know, party for everyone. So once you guys are here, I want you to scroll down, and I want you to go to, let's see where it is. It is the PHP selector. So right here, it's going to say select PHP version. All right. Now by default, most hosting companies will put you at 5.6. I've seen this on all the hosting companies, but we're going to set it to 7.0. And the reason why is because WHMCS actually recommends that you have the latest 7.0 version. So we're going to select the 7.0 PHP version, and then we're going to set that as current. And now we also want to actually change some of the PHP options as well. So right here, I want you to click on switch to PHP options. And right here under upload max file size, I want you to click on this and go to like 16. Or we'll go to 32. Now, a lot of hosting companies set that as 8, but the theme that I'm currently using is like 8 point something. So it's just like a matter of like, you know, how much people upload. And I'm sure you guys have probably seen these in my future or my past videos, like upload max file size error. It's simply an option in the settings that like can fix all of that. So I don't want you guys to run into any error. So I recommend putting it at around at least 16 to 32. 128, everything else, that's way too high. You'll never upload, like, what are you uploading, movies, you know? So right here, I want you to go to save. Also for the post max file size, you guys can go ahead and leave that at 16 or 8 as well. 128, it's pretty standard. Everything else here is pretty standard. So yeah, so go ahead and click on save. Now I want you guys to go to back to our cPanel. So you can click on this, and now I want you guys to install WHMCS. So how do we do that? We use the app installer. So just like we install WordPress, you guys have probably seen it before, we're going to install WHMCS. So right here we have WordPress, but we're going to actually go over here and install WHMCS. All right, so right here, I want you guys to go to install now. So right here we have the domain right here. So HTTP, you guys can always set the SSL later. It's really no big deal. You guys can just call them and they'll do it over the phone. It's really simple. And then right here, now in directory, you guys have seen my past tutorials where I don't recommend that. In this video, I do recommend that. And we will talk more about why we actually add a directory. So for example, your customers are going to see this. So when you go to my other websites and see like pihost.com, I have it under billing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give you guys an example really quick, pihost.com. And when I go to get started now, you guys can see it goes to -billing. So you're gonna put something that you would want there. And remember, people are gonna see that link. So right here, you can put something like selection or billing or portal or whatever you want. So right here, I'll do something like we'll just do billing. All right. Now remember, that's going to basically be the page where people are on this section right here. So like this is like basically WHMCS. And that's basically the page I have it for. So I have it for -billing right there. So remember, you guys can put it, whatever you want. Just be mindful that people will see that link. Okay. So I'm gonna go back over here and go to billing. And remember, if you guys like change your mind later, you guys can always just delete the app and reinstall it later. You guys can give them a call and they can probably help you out with it. So right here, I'm gonna put billing and cron job. Just leave it blank. All right. If you guys want to learn more about cron job, we'll talk more about that during this tutorial. You guys can also call them. It's basically like, like settings that just like they remind you every day. So right here we have 19 hours, 46 minutes. But anyways, we're going to skip the cron job and site settings right here. So go ahead and put your company name. So I'll put like a web hosting company or whatever you want to put. So web hosting company. And now this next section, guys, you really want to make this really difficult to find, because remember, only you and your like staff will have access to this. So make it really difficult, this folder. So like something like I'll do something like a patty wax 7, like that. And then right here, you want to go ahead and put your company email. So I'll put like my current email. Make sure you have access to this email, okay? And then also for your valid license key, you guys will need to enter your license key. Now guys, you will also get that in your email. So go ahead and check your email. You guys should be getting some emails from namehero.com, such as like a welcome, order confirmation. And then right here, we have the WHMCS license key. Now, if you guys click on the email first time and it's blank, just refresh it. I found one time it did that to me. So right here, I went back to it. and then it was available right here. So you're gonna go ahead and take this license key and put it over there. Now, for example, let's say you guys just cannot find it. You guys can go to your client area right here and go to add-ons, and your key will be right there. So let's just say, for example, you just don't get the email. You can just go ahead and go to your client area and just go ahead and put it in right there. I think that's the whole thing right there. So copy, and then go over here and go to paste. And then of course, guys, you want to put your, your admin username, your password, your first name, your last name, your admin email, and then right here you want to put your language. So if you speak Farsi or Spanish or Russian, you want to put that. And then after you're done with all these settings, guys, you can go ahead and go to install. Okay, so I'm gonna go to install. All right, it is installing. And voila. So congratulations, guys. We have successfully installed WHMCS. So remember, if you guys want to go ahead and view it, you guys can go right here to Name Hero Tutorial for You or whatever your is, and then go to Billing and click on that. And voila, guys, congratulations. You guys have successfully installed WHMCS on your website. So right here, people can go ahead and buy a domain. They can order hosting. They even get recommendations. So basically, you guys can kind of browse around and take a look at it. Get familiar with it and everything. So this is basically WHMCS. And remember, your site already has the ability to search for domains and let people know if they're available or not. So the next thing I want you guys to do is I want you guys to install WordPress. All right. So we're gonna go back over here to the app installer, and we're gonna click on this right here. Now we're going to install WordPress. Now the reason why I recommend this, because by default, sure, you can have it like this. You can have your entire website like this, but you really can't change much to it. So you guys can see when I went to pihost.com, I basically created an entire website. So for example, right here, we'll go to pihost.com. So basically I created the entire website. So I didn't want to limit you guys just to WHMCS platform. I want to say, hey, if you want to, offer all this stuff, I want to invite you guys to do that. So right here, basically all I did was just create the WordPress website, which is what most people do, and then they just put the link for the WHMCS folder inside of the websites to kind of make meld it together. Okay, so let me give you a better understanding of that. So right here, I want you guys to go back over here and go to install WordPress. All right, so now right here in the indirectory, put nothing. All right, put nothing. All right, so site name, site settings, you guys can go ahead and put all this. For those of you who've been around WordPress for a while, you guys probably know the drill. You can always change this in the theme customizer later. Right here, you want to put your username and password. All right, so this is a bad password, make sure it's good. And login attempts, so basically if some dude's trying to log into your website a lot, it'll it'll limit the logins, and then all this stuff right here. You guys have probably seen all this stuff. Now I'm actually going to install the Divi theme, and I'm actually going to include a free layout, and it's actually on my website for you, so you guys can actually have full access to that. They're free layouts, they're just there to help you out. So right here, I'm gonna go to install. All right, so WordPress is installing. Awesome. So here we have the link right here and the admin link. So right here, I can click on this little link right here, and it's going to go ahead and take us to our WordPress website. So we can go ahead and visit the sites, and of course you get the same theme. This is the one by default. I'm sure you guys know that by now. Now remember, if I go to nameherotutorialforyou.com/billing, it's going to take us to our WHMCS section. So for example, I'll go ahead and give you an example. So -billing, and there you go, voila. So remember, WHMCS is inside of basically our website. So there you go. So it's just a matter of linking to it and telling customers where to go within WHMCS. So let's go ahead and check our progress, guys. So we've got our hosting, congratulations. We have successfully installed WHMCS. We have successfully installed WordPress. Now we are going to go ahead and upload the Divi theme. Now remember, you guys can use any theme that you want. You can use a free theme, you can use the Elementor page builder. You guys can use anything that you guys have seen in my past tutorials, or if you're comfortable with the theme, feel free to use it. But this is just for people who use the Divi theme, because I teach it a lot on my website, so people might want to use that same theme. Now there is also a link in the description. It will give you a discount on the Divi theme if you've never used it. I have a tutorial on it, It's an amazing theme. It's probably it is the number one most installed WordPress theme in the world. So for those of you who have the Divi theme, you will also get 2 free layouts included in this tutorial. So before I install the WordPress theme and show you all the layouts, I want to actually show you the admin area for WHMCS. So by default, you guys are very familiar with this section right here, right? Well, there's another admin for WHMCS. So I want you guys to go to your link right here, billing. Now remember that folder I told you to make that was a little complicated? You're going to actually put that right there. So basically billing dash whatever directory that you added earlier, and then you're going to go ahead and press enter. If you guys aren't sure, go back to that part of the tutorial. Remember I told you to make that folder difficult to understand. So you're going to put dash billing and then put in your your URL. So you guys will get to a page that looks something like this, but you guys might be brought to a page that looks just like this right here. So you're going to have to enter in your information that you put. So the admin information that you put for WHMCS, the first time we installed it, you're going to put that right there. So right here I have, just my demo, stock stuff. So right here I'm gonna go to login. And then you'll be brought to this page right here. It's like a little wizard, it just talks about like stuff, but Ryan's gonna go more in depth on all of this, okay? But if you guys want to go ahead and skip this step and just kind of look around, you guys are more than welcome to do that. So for example, over here, you guys can check all your stuff and your order, your billing, your support, everything else. But Ryan's going to go more in depth on this section, and he's going to talk more about this section right here. So, but I'm just letting you guys know where you guys can access the Pattywax 784. I'm sorry, your admin area. So, that's what I put for mine. So whatever you put for yours, that's basically how you log into your specific part of WHMCS. That's why I kind of wanted you to make it a little difficult so people can't just guess it, So, okay, going back over here, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my website. All right, now I'm going to install the WordPress theme. So, you guys can use whatever you want. There's tons of themes out there that use, WHMCS. Maybe there's one by default. Let's just type that in and see if there's like a free one that's available. Let's see over here. I've never even tried that, WHMCS, to see if there's a free one. These don't look like, these don't look like, I wouldn't, I don't know. There's so many themes out there, guys. I don't know. I just use Divi because it's amazing and it's really easy to use. And I'm going to go ahead and find Divi. So I'm going to go ahead and find the Divi theme. So Divi, I'm going to click on that and go to install now. Now, guys, I personally use the Divi theme. It's probably the #1 rated WordPress theme right now in the world. If you guys go to my website, darrelwilson.com, you guys can actually see a preview of it. I'm actually using the Divi theme right here. It's really amazing. It's really simple to use, and with the new visual builder, it makes making websites like just super easy. So I wouldn't use any of the theme just because I've used it for so long. And I'm actually using the Ali Divi child theme. So basically Divi got so popular that people started making third-party child themes for it, third-party plugins, which just really made the plugin just more in demand. So there is a 10% discount for the Divi theme in the description. And remember, guys, you also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So it really shows the genuine truth of the company when they're offering, money-back guarantees. They're not trying to just make your money and run. They're saying, look, we promise you that you'll use our theme. And, they also provide tons of layouts, guys. There's so much this company offers, and it's really what makes them #1. So again, they're not just out to make your money and leave. They're not like that. They offer a money-back guarantee. They offer a year of customer support. So, if you guys do decide to use the Divi theme, trust me, you will not be disappointed. The customer service, the layouts they offer is nothing short of amazing, okay? So anyways, let's go back over here, and I'm going to activate the Divi theme. Now, over here, I'm going to go to my website and go to Divi Layouts, so darrelwilson.com, and then if you go to my menu right here under Divi Layouts, you guys will actually be able to find the Divi host. So Divi host child theme, it's free, doesn't cost anything. Now right here, you can click on view the demo, and voila. So you guys will have a website that looks just like this running up in about 10 seconds. So all you need to do is simply upload the child theme after you've purchased and installed Divi. And, all this is included, guys. So it's just, to help you guys out, just to get something started. Because I know designing a website from scratch can be somewhat intimidating and also overwhelming. Trust me, I am in the world of web design, so I know it can be really hard. So let me show you how you can actually have this on your website really fast. So over here, I'm going to go to Add New, Upload Theme, choose the file, And then I'm going to go ahead and just simply upload that child theme. So Divi host and go to install now. Now, remember, you guys will need to just go to our website, add it to the cart, and then just go ahead and go through the checkout process. It's free, it doesn't cost anything, so it's just to help you guys out. So right here, I'm gonna go to activate. So right here now, it says like it's like making sure that Divi's installed, and it knows Divi's installed, so I'm going to activate it. All right, so now let's go ahead and import all the demo content, because by default, if you go to visit websites, it's not gonna look like that. So go to here to dashboard, Divi host, and go to easy demo import, and simply go ahead and select import demo content. And after this, guys, Ryan's going to take over the rest of the tutorial. He's going to help you guys out. I only work with very few people, guys, and I really do my homework on people, and he was definitely commendable. The stuff he offers, the knowledge, the expertise, incredible. Really, really incredible, and really helpful to the WordPress community. All right, so the import is complete. Let's go ahead now and see how the site looks now. Voila. So you guys can see everything has imported. It basically cloned the entire website. So if you guys want this alternative where you guys can just have a website running up really fast and really easy, you guys can go ahead and use the Divi child theme. It's free. All you got to do is pay for the Divi theme. Like again, I do offer a 10% discount for that theme. All right. So now that I've done this section, guys, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Ryan, and he's going to help you all further your knowledge with the WHMCS platform.
Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Gray here with NameHero.com. I want to thank Darrel for having us on his channel here and having us kind of joint venture together in this tutorial of setting up your hosting business with WHMCS. At NameHero.com, we've spent a lot of time the last 2 years to really developing our platform and our infrastructure to create what I believe to be the best reseller infrastructure in the world. And so we've designed our system specifically to allow you the ability to resell web hosting to your customers on our high performance cloud. So because of our infrastructure using solid state drives and the high speed cloud, you're able to really offer a managed hosting product that's unmatched to a number of other packages you see out there on the internet. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to configure and set up your WHMCS so you can begin selling web hosting at the end of this. So if you watch now all the way to the end, by the end, you will have a fully functioning web hosting website. So at this point in time, you should have your Divi theme installed on your main site like you're seeing right now on the NameHeroTutorialForYou.com. You should also have your WHMCS installed. Just as Darrel showed, it's at NameHeroTutorialForYou.com/billing. And right now we're at the admin URL, which he called Paddywhack784, which you want to make that hard to guess because only you and your staff members will be able to see that. But if you just have like /admin, then it lets potential evildoers know where your admin login is. Since your admin login really has the keys to your hosting kingdom, you definitely want to make sure that that's secret, as well as using a strong username and password here. Before we dig into WHMCS though, there's a couple of configuration things that we need to do inside the NameHero interface. So I want to start off with that, and then we'll just go step by step until we have our website fully functioning. So right now I'm in the client area of NameHero.com. This is as soon as I log in. So the first thing we need to do is we need to register our private name servers, because we're going to use those, we're going to provide those to our customers. So when our customers come and sign up and they want to point their domain to us, they're going to be using these private name servers. This also makes you look a lot more professional than using our name servers at NameHero. This allows you to create a white label experience. So no one will ever see NameHero, especially once you do this, they won't see our brand at all. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is get what those name servers are and then go through the registration process. Now, as Darrel highlighted in his video tutorial, he registered his domain with us. That's highly recommended, because if your domain is registered at another provider such as GoDaddy, then you actually have to register those name servers with them. Now, I know GoDaddy, for one, it's possible inside their interface, but they make it a little bit more challenging than I really believe that it should be. So you might want to register a new domain with us, or transfer your domain from GoDaddy over to us, because it certainly will make your life a lot easier. Okay, so when I click on Cloud Web Hosting, I'm going to see my package, the Corporate Hero, and I click here. And if I scroll down just a little bit here, I will see my name servers are right here. ns1.nameherotutorialforyou.com and ns2.nameherotutorialforyou.com. Now this is going to be whatever domain that you signed up with for your web hosting website. Now these IP addresses, they're going to be different depending on your account, so they're not going to be the same. All right, so once we are here, we want to navigate over to where our domain is located. So I'm just going to hover over domains and click on my domains, and I'll open this in another tab. Okay, so you can see the domains right here. I'm going to click on it and just give that a second while it loads, and we will see right here for private name servers. So we're going to click right here. All right, now right here you're going to see register a name server name. So right here is the name server and the IP. So let's go back over here and let's copy this, the first IP address, copy. We are going to type in NS1 and we are going to paste the IP address and click save. So this process just binds those IP addresses to these name servers. So the first one's registered. We're going to go back and grab the second one. I'm going to copy this, go back. NS2, and we are going to paste it. Click Save Changes. Once this is saved, we're now ready to change the actual domain's name servers. So we're going to click on Name Servers right here, and you're going to see when this loads up that we're right now using Name Heroes. So we're going to change this over to our custom ones. So I'm just going to copy this here and type in ns1. Name Hero Tutorial for You. Just copy this, paste this, and 2. So now ns1.nameherotutorialforyou.com and ns2.nameherotutorialforyou.com. So now we just want to save this and change the name servers. Okay, now it's important to note that our order processing team, they come behind each new order and they validate this just to make sure it's done correctly. I do want to demonstrate this, but in case you come across your account here and you see that it's already done, then you can rest assured knowing our order processing team's already taken care of that for you. We do that as a courtesy to all our new accounts that come in just to make sure everything is set up from the start correctly. Okay, once these have been registered, we just have to make one more final step inside of our web host manager. So we're going to go back to our main tutorial or our main page here for nameherotutorialforyou.com, and we're going to click on WHM. This is our web host manager. Okay, we just want to make sure that we have the correct DNS entries added for those name servers. So we're going to type in DNS, click Edit DNS Zone, click on Name Hero Tutorial for You and click Edit. And now we just want to change these here the same way we did at our domain. So ns1.nameherotutorialforyou.com. We're going to scroll down. And basically we're just replacing Name Heroes with our own private name servers. In this way that no one will be able to link Name Hero to your business. Okay, and then we need to add A entries for the IPs. So NS1 here and NS2 here, A entry, and we'll grab these IPs again from right here. Copy this, paste it in here, come back and get the second one. Copy it and paste it. Scroll down to the bottom and then click Save. Okay, now that is all done. And as I said, our order processing team, they will go behind you and make sure that that's set up the correct way, but that is how you get it done inside of your interface. Now, if you want to check it, if you want to make sure everything is good and proper, you can use a tool we have called dnshero.com. And from there, you just type in your domain, click Report, and you can see that the name server records returned by the parent servers are the ones that they should be. So on this page here, you should not see any red. If you have any red errors, then it's likely that something is configured incorrectly, and you should give us a call, submit us a ticket, or hit us up on live chat, and we're more than willing to help you figure that out to see what's going on. But you just want to make sure that there's no red here because that will save you trouble down the line. Okay, now that we have finished that, we are ready to get into WHMCS and begin configuring that so we can begin accepting orders. So I'm going to log in, and I'm going to use the credentials that Darrel made for us earlier. Okay, now as soon as I log in, for the first time, I get this Getting Started wizard. Now, if you've closed it out, you can also access it from Help, Setup Wizard, and it goes right back to here. Now, it's important, if this is your first time using WHMCS, that you go through this setup wizard. It just really helps you make sure that you don't miss any of those essential steps that will cause you problems down the road. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through this Getting Started wizard. Then after we're finished, we're going to go through and make some manual changes as well. But this will make sure that we get the most important things done correctly. And then that way we can go back and then configure a little bit more of the nitty-gritty after we go through this. So I'm just going to click on Next. And the first thing it wants is our hosting company name. So Darrel entered web hosting company when he did the WordPress tutorial, or when he did the WordPress and WHMCS installation. So I'm just going to keep it that. Logo, you can upload your logo for your company here. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. If you're having one made, you can go back and upload it later on. So I'm not going to upload one. I don't have one right off the top of the bat, so I'm just going to leave that be. Email address, this is going to be the email that's used as a sender for all emails. So at NameHero, we use contact at NameHero, but you can use billing, admin, system, whatever, but you just need to make sure you have access to this email itself. This in case a customer would hit reply and reply back to a message that the WHMCS has sent, that it would come back to you and you would be able to help them out. Next is the address. This is going to be your physical address that's going to be on all of the invoices that you send. So I recommend, if you don't have a physical office, you probably don't want to use your home address. So I recommend going to the UPS store and maybe getting a PO box, or just having an address to where you can put on your invoices. If you're running a business, you might have a business address, or you might have a virtual office that you can use. But you definitely need to put a physical address in this field here, so you have it for your invoices. For me, I'm just going to enter my office address. Okay, so from here I want to select country, United States, where I am, and language is English. So now we'll go to next. And again, you can edit that information at a later time. So if you're like, I'm not sure right now, Ryan, you can leave address and enter address here, and you can go back and edit that later. And I'll show you where to get to that. Okay, the next is you're going to set up how you accept payments. So by far, the most popular payment gateway out there, especially for the hosting industry, is PayPal. Most everyone has a PayPal account nowadays because of its popularity, along with eBay and many other merchants that accept it. So if you have a PayPal email address, then you want to enter it inside of here. Now, if you want to make a new one for your business, so maybe you have a personal PayPal that you use, but you don't want your business payments being sent there, then you can just enter your business address here. And once you get your first payment, it will then ask you to create your account to claim the money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use billing at NameHeroTutorialForYou.com. So I'm just going to use this address as my PayPal email address. And then when I get my first payment, it's going to shoot me an email saying, hey, you've got a payment. Click here to get the payment, and then you can complete your registration. So PayPal has really came a long way allowing you to do that. I think they're really copying off of how Stripe's simple setup is, because they want people to use their platform. Next is for a merchant account. WHMCS has teamed up with a merchant account so that you can automatically apply for one inside of WHMCS. Now, I'm a big fan of Stripe, because instead of merchant accounts, you have all these fees involved. You have a fee, processing fees, maybe a setup fee, and maybe a monthly fee. And I'm not quite sure who the affiliate is with WHMCS here, so I'm not sure of the fees. Now, if you want to use them, by all means, you can go ahead and do that. But I personally don't recommend it. Next is to mail in payments. I also do not recommend this. Now, maybe if you're a local web agency, or maybe your customers are local and you want the ability for them to mail you in a check for their hosting, you can do this. But from my experience in the industry, you're going to run across a lot of bad actors doing that. You're going to run across some fraudulent transactions and a bunch of stuff. So I don't recommend enabling that. Okay, so next is domains. By far the biggest upsell in web hosting is domain registrations and transfers, because in order for someone to have a web hosting package, they have to have a domain. And if they already have a domain, they might need to transfer that domain in. So of course you want to enable this because it's going to provide you a additional revenue stream for your business. Now at NameHero, all of our corporate reseller account packages come with a 100% free Enom reseller account. So if you're not familiar with Enom, Enom is one of the biggest domain resellers out there. Popular brands such as Namecheap actually use Enom for the back end to sell some of their domains. So basically they'll handle all the certifications and stuff required to sell domains, but you will be a reseller of theirs, meaning you pay a wholesale price and then you can mark up the price of the domain registration. So with that said, you want to first select the popular TLDs, the top level domain extensions to get started. So the most popular ones, .com, .net, .org, .biz, and .info. Now I'll show you later on in this tutorial how to add more, because as I'm sure you're aware, there's all kinds of new TLDs out there. Now, this wants us to set a price. Now, as I said, that you're going to be paying Enom a price for their, you're going to pay Enom a price for their domain registrations, and then you're going to mark this up so you make money on the margin, so to speak. So I like to set this by default at $14.95. Later on in this tutorial, we'll go through and I'll show you how to price each TLD individually based on what you're paying. With this domain reseller account, this free one, I believe the cost to a .com is around $10 a year. So marking it up to $14.95, you're going to make almost $5 per .com domain registration. But we'll go through each one of these individually later in this tutorial. Okay, now again, this comes with a free Enom account, so you just want to click Enable and go to Next. Okay, when you do that, it's then going to ask you to create your account with Enom. So we're going to need to create this right quick. So I'm just going to do Ryan. So do Ryan Tester, and I'm going to stick with my same email I've been using, billing@NameHero tutorialforyou.com. Once again, I'm going to that 1101 Walnut Street. Missouri. States, and then your phone number. Okay, now you have to set up a username. Now this username is going to be unique to you, but it has to be unique to the Enom system. So you want to make sure it's something that's probably different. You don't want to just use, like if I use Ryan Gray or Ryan Tester might be available, but Ryan Gray is probably taken. So we're just going to call this name tutorial, and we're going to set our password. Now, Enom doesn't allow special characters in their password, so just keep that in mind when you're doing that. We have to select security question, favorite vacation spots, one I like to do. That will help you recover your login if you lose it at a later date. So now we'll just click Next. Make sure we have everything in here correctly. This is actually going to pipe your information to Enom and create that account for you in real time. So once we get finished here, we can begin registering domains. Okay, so now we can see that we are ready to go with our Enom account. Next, we need to link up our reseller account with our WHMCS. So you can see it's still, it's asking us for a little bit more of information that we need to enter inside of here. So what I like to do is go back to my NameHero interface and get my welcome email, because all of this information is in the welcome email that we send you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my name here and click Email History. I'm going to go over here to my reseller account information email and click View Message. Now you're free to pull it up in your email as well, but this is just one place we archive all your emails, so you have access to this information very quickly. Okay, so I need to enter in my username and password. So let me just pull this over to another window real quick. And the first thing it's asking is my host name or my IP address. So if you would like, you can use the IP address of your account, which is right here. See where this control panel? This is that IP. But I like to instead pull it from right over in here in the client area. If I click on My Services, click on Corporate Hero, I like to give out this primary IP. And if you ordered the corporate reseller account, you're going to have this. And this is because this is a dedicated IP address that's just going to be for use by you and your customers. So we can use this one right here. Whoops. And paste it inside of here. And then we want to get our username. So I'm just going to pull this from my email. And just so you can see where I'm pulling it from. I'm pulling it from my new account information. My username is NameHero, and here's my password. So I'm just going to copy that. NameHero. Then we're going to paste that password in right here. Now you want to click on Verify Connection, and you can see connection successful. The remaining details have been populated for you. So this is pretty cool. We've got all that in there. Now we need to re-put in this primary IP, copy, and then paste. Now, if you would like, you can also set this as the host name instead of the primary IP. It's all up to you. It's personal preference. But we also white label this at NameHero. So this is a question that we frequently get by resellers. So if you go here, you can see server name. We call this server is going to be specific depending on your account. So this is not going to be the same for everybody. So this server is simon.uswebhost.com. Now, if you go to uswebhost.com in your browser, it's just a blank white page. This way, we're able to white label the server name for you. So your customers will never see NameHero. And then you can explain this to them as US Web Host is just the domain we use to provision our servers. So if you would like, you can copy this over and go back into your WHMCS, and you can use this server host name. The benefit to that is this already has an SSL certificate installed on it, so you can make sure when your customers are connecting to cPanel that they have a secure certificate and they're all set. Okay, so now we will click Next. Okay, our setup has been completed. You're now ready to begin using WHMCS. Now there is an important piece of information here before we click Finish. Should you desire, you can run this wizard again at any time from the Help menu. So that's good. That's how we got back to it earlier. But this is important right here. And in my opinion, this should be put in red. Enom requires your server IP address for API access. So if you don't do this, then you're going to start getting errors when you go to register domains. So I'm going to click right here. When I click here, I'm going to have some directions that I need to follow. So the first thing being I need to log into my new Enom account. So actually, let's go back here and I'm going to open this in a new window so I can show you how to do this. So log into your account. So we're going to use our username that we created. I use name tutorial and my password. Click log in. Okay, now you can see API live environment setup. So we need to add our IP addresses. So let's go back into our client area here. And there's a couple IPs that you need to add. So the first one is from this NS1. So you need to take this one, copy it, go back to Enom and add it, paste, and add. Now it's been added. Go back to our client area and let's go ahead and grab our primary IP, copy it, and paste it, add. So this adds two of our IP addresses to Enom's API. So now when our server is connecting to Enom, that it will give us permission to do so. So it's very important that you do this because if you don't, you will get an error when you go to register your domains. Okay, now that that is set, we are ready to go off to the races. I'm going to click Finish on this tutorial, and now we will jump into the next part where we're going to actually go in and verify some of the settings outside of the setup wizard. Okay, once we finish the setup wizard, we want to check the system health status of WHMCS just to make sure that everything is good running moving forward. So we're going to click on Help and System Health Status. Now basically we're looking for any red here. Now if you notice any red with the cron job, that's probably because you just installed it and the cron job hasn't had time to run. But if you notice a day or two goes by and you still have that, feel free to reach out to our support team and we can make sure we make the necessary adjustments. But you can see I've got one here and it's the insecure permissions check. So you can click on their documentation and they have a lot of security recommendations that they like you to do just to keep your installation secure. But the biggest one here is to change the actual permissions on the configuration file just so no one else can write it remotely and potentially have access to your data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Name Hero client area here, where our corporate reseller package is, and I'm going to click Log into cPanel because we're going to change the permissions of that configuration file real quick. We're going to click File Manager, and we're going to go into www, and we're going to click Billing, which is where we installed it, and we're going to scroll down to where we see configuration.php, and we're going to go to Permissions, and we were going to change this to 400. So we're going to change it to just user read, that's it. So now we have 400, change permissions. So now we have changed the permissions on configuration, and we go back to WHMCS, we click refresh on it, and now we have a 0. So now we are good on that. Now there's a couple other warnings here. One is automatic update requirements. Automatic updates require a writable directory for staging during an update. So this is also important to do while we're in here. So let's go back to our file manager. And what I like to do is I like to go outside the public directory. So we're going to go up one level, and we've got stuff right inside of here. So you can see we've got a folder called WHMCS Data. We're going to double click in there, and let's create a folder, and we're going to call it Updates. Click Create New Folder. So once we do that, we can click in here, and we just want to grab this whole path here. So it's going to be right here, and we're going to use /home/NameHero as well. So what I'm going to do is go back to WHMCS, and I'm going to click on Setup. Update WHMCS under Utilities. Go down to here, Configure Update Settings, and here's where I'm going to enter that temporary path. So I'm going to type in /home/NameHero. And then I'm going to paste in that rest of that path, which is WHMCS/data/updates. Click Save Changes. And so then it's going to make sure that when I go to update it, it will be able to update successfully. And you don't have to worry about that now because you can see you're running the latest version, especially if you have already installed it. But that's something you may run into later on. So we're going to go back to System Health Status, and you can see we're good on that. Now, using default templates, we are using the default templates for the cart and the client area. If you are to make some changes, then you can follow the documentation on making a custom theme. But I'm not so concerned about that right now as I am the one below it. And that's Website SSL. SSL is not configured for NameHeroTutorial4U.com/billing. So let's talk about this really quick. SSL is free and automatic for all domains hosted at NameHero. So even when you're offering resellers space, when you're offering accounts, they're automatically going to have an SSL certificate on all of their subdomains and domains by us at NameHero. Now the only requirement for this is they have to have their DNS changed over. Your DNS has to propagate. So I'll show you how to verify this, and then I'll show you how to change it. So we want to go back to our client area here, and we want to click Log into WHM. When we do that, we're going to type in Manage SSL. So we can see Manage SSL Host. We'll click that, and you just want to scroll down here, and you want to make sure you see Issuer Let's Encrypt beside your main domain here. So this means it has a dedicated SSL certificate and you're all good to go. It's automatically been generated for you. If you don't see this, or if you see issuer says self-signed, reach out to our support team and we'll generate that for you manually. It automatically generates every night, once a night, but if you're in a hurry or if it hasn't generated yet, then we can kind of speed that process up for you. So let's go back into our WHMCS and let's go into some settings so we can go ahead and change that. So we're going to go to Setup, General Settings, and you're going to see our domain here. So what I like to do is switch this to HTTPS NameHeroTutorial4U.com. So we're going to go down here and WHMCS system URL. Let's go ahead and change that as well. Or wait a second, we don't need to do this on the domain, just need to do it on the system URL here. And we'll scroll down and click Save Changes. So now when we go to System Health Status under Help, we won't see that warning anymore. Finally, it's asking for one more PHP extension, and I believe Darrel covered this in his setup, but sometimes they change which ones they want you required. So XML RPC. So I'll show you how to add that too real quick while we're in here. We'll go back to cPanel, and I'm going to go to Select PHP Version. Click on that, then click Switch to PHP Options, and we're going to go to PHP Extensions. And we're looking for that XML one, so XML RPC. We're going to check it and click Save. Now that's been saved. We'll go back to WHMCS, refresh this page, and now we don't see that. So the only warning we have is that we're using default templates, and if we make changes, we need to create a custom one. But again, that doesn't have much concern. So 19 successful, that one warning, and 0 needing attention. So if you need help with this, our support team is familiar, and we can help you out with that. You don't have to reach out to WHMCS directly. Name Hero is more than willing to make sure we get this to where you have 0 needing attention. So once that's set, then we can go into our general settings. And then what I like to do is, since we use the setup wizard, I just like to go through and verify that everything we did is correct. So we have our company name, and this is where you can change it. If you decide to change your company name later, or if you just want to change, maybe you didn't type it, maybe you made a spelling error or whatnot, you can go back and change it in here. So we have web hosting company, we have our email address and our domain. Now our logo, if we want to add a logo, we would enter the URL to our logo there. So that's where that is if we decide to add one later. We've got our address that we did. We've got our system URL. This is the default template for WHMCS. Now, if we were to go off and purchase a custom one or to develop one, then we could select it there. The activity log, we can leave that default. Records to display per page, I just like to keep that at the default as well. Maintenance mode, if you're making any changes inside WHMCS, such as upgrading, it's automatically going to kick this on. So there shouldn't be a need for you to tick that on, so just leave it. And then here's what the maintenance message would be. And of course, you can redirect this as well. If you want to send it to your own, to a page maybe instead of this default message, you can do that. And then I like to keep it at friendly URLs for SEO purposes. Okay, so once all that stuff is completed to your satisfaction, then we can go to localization. The character set, leave that default. This is the date format. So if you live in the United Kingdom and you want to change the date format to match wherever you live, then you can do that here. I'm going to keep it default. Same with this client date format. This is what your clients will see. Again, you can change this. You can change the country. Default language, WHMCS is translated into all these different languages, so you can do that if you would like as well. You can enable the language menu so your clients can actually change it inside of their interface, and I recommend leaving that on. You know, when I started Name Hero, I didn't think a lot of people would use that, but you'd really be surprised the number of customers you get that will use that. Dynamic field translations, this enables localization of supported database field values to multiple languages. I don't recommend doing that. And then this other one here, you can leave that default. Okay, so let's go to ordering. Ordering, this is where we're going to change the look and feel of the order flow. Once we get into things, we can customize this a little bit more, but you can see there's a couple order form templates that are already provided. I personally like just the standard one here, but you can change it based on how you want your website to look. So once I get some packages loaded up, then you can be able to see this a little bit bigger, and you could change this to a couple of theirs. And you can get on here, and there's a sidebar that you can toggle, so you can have this sidebar show on the order form or not. Enable terms of service acceptance. Now this is important because once you're selling web hosting to customers, they need a terms of service to follow, because if not, and the customer goes rogue, then of course you could be held responsible. So what I like to tell our customers at Name Hero, that a good starting point for this is just going over to Name Hero and borrowing ours. So we can go over here to Name Hero and we can scroll down to the bottom and you can see terms of use. So you can actually take this agreement and use this as your template to make your own. So basically go through here and change from Name Hero LLC to the name of your company or your hosting business. It's always good that you have your own set of terms though, just so if you have someone that violates those, you can always refer back to those. And so I recommend that you do put a page up and you do make them accept those terms as they order. Just so again, if someone's coming on to do something bad, maybe to spam, or to not use your services what they're for, you always have something to go back to. Okay, next is some options to what happens once they check out. I like to leave this default to automatically forward the user to the payment gateway. So if you're using PayPal, after they submit their order, it's going to redirect them to the PayPal site where they can make their payment and then come back. Monthly pricing breakdown, in my opinion, this should be turned on, because if you remember when Darrel did the tutorial signing up for Name Hero, he saw our prices displayed per month. So WHMCS allows users to pay monthly every 6 months, every year, every 2 years, or every 3 years. And so in the web hosting industry, we can actually set those prices to where we reward customers that want to sign up for a longer time frame. So this way that will show the monthly pricing breakdown instead of showing that big big lump sum. So I'm going to take that on, and I'll show you examples of that later on in this tutorial. Okay, block existing domains. If someone already has an account in your system, you probably don't want them to have another because that's probably an accident, so I like to leave that. And then there's some optional options you can tick on here, such as no invoice email on order, skip the fraud check for existing customers, only auto provision for existing, enable random usernames, and sign up anniversary pro rata. So I like just to leave these off unless you specifically see one of these that you may need, then you can check those. But getting started, I don't really recommend changing those from the default. Next, we're going to head into domains. Now we've already enabled the domain reseller module in our setup wizard. So this kind of just confirms all that customers are going to be able to register domains, transfer domains, and they can also use their own domain with you. Now, if you want to disallow any of those selections, feel free to do so. By default, you should probably want to leave those. Enable renewal orders. This allows you to enable the customers the ability to renew their domains early if they wish. You want to leave that on. Auto renew on payment. So this will automatically renew domains that are expiring. Of course, you want to leave that on. Auto renew requires a product. So this is if you have a free domain. So when we get into provisioning and setting up accounts, I'll show you how you can give your customers or offer your customers a free domain if they want to pay yearly. And I'll show you how to make sure that that renews correctly. So you want to leave that on. Create to-do list entries. This is if something fails in WHMCS, it will put a to-do list so your staff or you yourself know that there's an action that requires manual intervention. You want to leave that on. Same with domain sync enabled. You want to leave that on because it's actually going to sync the domain's expiration date with what's on file at Enom. Okay, so we can go on down here a little more, sync the next due date. I would leave that off unless you specifically have a reason why. Domain sync notify on, this will just let you know that the domain sync ran. You can turn that on if you want. Allow international domain name support. So if you want to allow this with your registrar, you can. Now I know Enom does not have a lot of these, so I like to leave that off. Okay, so we have our default name servers, and these should be your resellers, so leave those as is. And you would like to let your clients use their details in the domain registrations. Now, if you want to define that for them, maybe you want to use your company's details for their registrations, you can, but I personally don't recommend it. I personally just let the client use theirs. So we're going to save settings. Now we are going to go to mail. You want to leave this default. Unless you are specifically having any issues with your WHMCS not sending emails, then you could change this to SMTP, but by default, PHP mail works just fine. So we can leave all these settings just default. This is our global email signature. This is what's going to be on all those emails that are sent out to your customers. So you can see here the default is just web hosting company, the name of your company with your URL. So I suggest just leaving that the same, or you can customize that, whatever you see best fit for your business. Global email CSS styling, I just leave that default. The same with the header content. You know, if you're a web developer, web designer, you can edit all this stuff to customize the look and feel of your emails. But in my opinion, WHMCS has done a really good job with their formatting of their emails, so there's really no need to customize all that stuff. Okay, send emails from name. So when you first set up WHMCS, you had this. So you could do this, or you could just put your name in here, like system admin. This is just who the system emails are coming from. So you can use your name, or you can use just a system admin, or you can put your company's name. Whatever is appropriate for you is appropriate for in here. This is from the from email address. A lot of people like to use no reply because replying to system generated messages really isn't always, a good practice. So a lot of people just like to use no reply so people won't reply to that email address for support. You can BCC messages if you want a copy of every email sent. Don't recommend that because you're going to get a lot. Pre-sales form destination, WHMCS by default has a contact form. And so you can send this to a general inquiry box, which will set up in the ticket desk, or you can set an email address. So that's up to you. If you want this to go into your general inquiries box, you can, or you can set up an email address. I like just to send it to the general inquiries. Click Save. Okay, now our mail is set. Support. So if you notice that NameHero and any other company that uses WHMCS, many of them have a help desk ticket. help desk center where you can submit tickets. WHMCS has one built in, so I like to leave this default. If you want to use the Keiko, you can, but that's a separate license and separate piece of software altogether. So if this is your first time with WHMCS, just use the built-in system. Mask format, you don't want to mess with that. Reply order, I like to use the oldest to the newest. Ticket reply email limit, and just 10's fine. Show client only departments, and you can tick this to show client only departments to guests, not logged in visitors. Just leave that default. You want to require your clients to log in. So require login by the owning client for viewing tickets assigned to a client. So this way the tickets aren't made public. So they have to actually log into their account to view it. So you want to leave that on. Knowledge-based suggestions, you like to leave that on too, because as the user is typing their help desk ticket, you can actually populate your knowledge base. So in case there are questions already asked. And don't worry, in this tutorial, I'll show you how to add articles to your knowledge base. Okay, attachment thumbnail previews. Click to enable thumbnail previews of image attachments. You can leave that default. Support ticket rating. Do you want to allow people to rate your staff as they're answering tickets? I like to leave that on. At Name Hero, we're really big on making sure that we have all 5 stars on there. So we like to leave that on. Prevent email from reopening. Tick to prevent email replies from reopening closed tickets and sending email advising to open a new ticket or update the existing tickets. You want to leave this off. What we're going to set up is where we can allow customers to email in and it'll automatically update in the ticket desk. But if they email and reopen a ticket, then that can create a problem. If they're just saying like thank you, then they don't need to reopen the ticket. So we like to leave that off, and we like to leave the time step default. Disable reply email logging. Of course, you don't want to do that. And these are the attachment files allowed in your ticket center. I like to just recommend images. I don't like to recommend zip files or stuff like that because someone could potentially send you something no good. Service system requires login. Service status, requires login. So you're going to have a system status page, and I only like to have clients see that. So you're going to require login, and then you can leave this downloads default. Click Save. And now we're all set. So now we can look at invoices. This here, you can pretty much leave all of these default. This is just some of the specifics about how the invoices are generated inside of WHMCS. Really, I've never seen a need for these to be changed other than when it comes down here to the late fee. Some people, if you want to charge a late fee, which I recommend that you should, you can either do a percentage or a fixed amount. Personally, I like to do percentage, but I like to do about a 25% late fee. And that way, if a customer is late, then you can say this in your terms of service. But over time, of course, it inconveniences you for them not paying their invoice on time. So you can charge that percentage of a late fee, and that'll kind of encourage them to keep them to paying their invoices on time. You can disable this by entering a 0, and you can also specify a late fee minimum, the minimum late fee. Accepted credit card types. I'm going to show you how to use Stripe so it accepts all of these. In the issue start date, we can change these fields to show for credit card payments. I'm not going to. Invoice number information and invoice starting number, just leave those default. You can change those if you're coming over from another billing system, but if this is your first go around, you can leave it. Next, in credit, this is for affiliates, or for when you have affiliates in your system and when you have customers that want to pay a balance up front. So a lot of customers at Name Hero, they'll want to deposit funds into their WHMCS so they don't have to worry about paying invoices every month. So this is kind of where you set that up. The minimum deposits, I personally like a little bit higher than $10. So I like to say maybe $25. The maximum, maybe $500. And then the maximum balance, of course, could be about $500. So it's the maximum amount of credit someone can add. And of course, you don't want to require an active order before allowing the add funds. So click Save Changes on that. Next is the affiliates. If you want to enable the affiliate system, so this means if you want to have a referral system, if you have customers and you want to allow them to send in people and get paid a commission for your products, then you can enable this. this in itself could be an entire tutorial how to set up your affiliate center. So this is really up to you if you want to enable it. For the purpose of this video, I'm not going to, but if you want to, you just click to enable it and it will be inside the user interface. Then you can go ahead and enable how much you want each person to receive, a bonus to deposit from sign up, and how much they have to be paid, or how much they have to reach before payout, and how many days to delay the commissions. If you're going to do this, I do recommend setting this to at least 31 days so that you have a full month to make sure it's not a bogus transaction. Security. This is always important stuff. So require users to confirm their email address on sign up or change of email address. You can do this. What I like to do is keep it off for now, see how it goes, and then go from there. CAPTCHA form protection. Now you're going to notice on your website, so when you go to your WHMCS, so /billing, you're going to notice a CAPTCHA here. So see this CAPTCHA right here? That's ugly. I do not like that. So go in here and tick that off. So CAPTCHA form protection, I like to turn it off on the domain lookups. So, and I think that's actually, I think there's another option here for domain CAPTCHAs. And it's not there. So let's see if that gets it for us. I think that will get it for us, but I don't like to have a CAPTCHA on our domain lookups because that's a really big pain in the butt. But with that, let's keep going through here. You can add the reCAPTCHA from Google, so we can add that if we want. I'll just leave it default. Require password strength. Yes, you should. Let's leave that. The field admin ban time. This is how many minutes after an IP address logs in unsuccessfully to your admin area. Leave that at the default 15. If you have a problem, you can change that, but basically that person won't be allowed to log in again for 15 minutes. I think any longer than that, it might get aggravating if it's yourself. You can whitelist IPs here. If you have your IP address, you can add it in here and whitelist it so it doesn't get blocked. Whitelist IP login failure notices. This will just send a login failure if it happens from a whitelist IP. Disable password reset for admin. You might want to turn this on so the admin user can't reset its password, just so if someone's into your email, they can't get into that. Disable credit card storage. So this box will not store customers' credit cards in the database. Now, if you do not have PCI compliance, then you want to click this. If you're using PayPal and Stripe, you don't have to worry about it because it's not going to do it anyhow. Allow client CC removal. Tick this box to allow clients to delete their credit card details stored. If you're not going to store them, you don't have to worry about that. Disable session IP check. This will disable people's IP from being checked in the cookie. I'm not going to disable that. Allow Smarty PHP tags. This is for if you have any custom templates. So we want to leave that disabled. If you have some custom templates, you might find the need to enable that later on. This is if you're using a proxy to relay IP information. You're probably not, so don't worry about that. Same with the trusted proxies. API IP restriction. So if you want to only allow certain IPs to connect to your WHMCS API, you can add those in here. Most of the time, you're not going to have to worry about that. You probably want to log this though. Tick to record successful API authentications in the admin log. And then we have these CSRF tokens. They are enabled by default, and for the domain checker, they are disabled. So that's those are recommended. If you run into an error that says CSRF error, you can disable this. Most of the time, that happens with custom modules and custom templates. Okay, finally we have social. This is where you enter your Twitter username, and this will actually show your latest tweets on your main page. So on this page here, it will show your tweets if you have a Twitter account for your company. So if you do, you can enter it inside of there. If you want to have the tweet button enabled on your announcements, you can. Facebook recommend or Facebook comments, you can enable those. And if you want to recommend Google+, not really used much anymore, but they still have it in here. Okay, finally we have the other options here, and this is for the admin client display format. Show last name, first name only. I like to leave this one default, and this is really all personal preference, but that's how I like mine to display. Default to client area, tick this box to skip the home page and forward users directly to the client area and login form upon first visiting WHMCS. So this means if they're logged in here, they won't see this page. They'll just see the main page for their account. So I like to leave just this default, and again, that's personal preference as well. Okay, so allow client registration. This allows customers to register without purchasing. In my experience, you're going to see spam if you keep this on there. You're going to see people register that are either phishing or maybe you have bots. So I like to turn that off. So I don't like clients to register. Optional profile fields. You can make these optional at the sign up time. So feel free to do that. I like to leave them default. You can have locked profile fields, meaning that once they fill out maybe their first name and last name, they can't change it without letting you know. It's kind of good. So if someone maybe hacks the account, if someone got someone's login, they couldn't change it to another one and take over someone's account. So sometimes I like to even lock their email address in as well. Client details change notify. So this is going to send you an email each time a client changes any of their details. Marketing opt-out, tip to show a newsletter opt-out option in the client area. It's going to show in your emails, so there's no need to do that. Cancellation link, if you want to have a cancellation link in the interface, I do recommend that. Credit on downgrade, if they downgrade, will you give them a credit for their unused time? You can or can't, it's by default it is. Monthly affiliate reports, now if you have the affiliate program enabled, then you can send them a report each month automatically. Ban subdomain prefixes. These prefixes are not allowed because most of these are system generated, so leave that on. Then finally, you have some debug type stuff here. If you're having some issues with your WHMCS, you can turn these on. Okay. So now we have configured all of the settings for WHMCS. Now, I understand this is a lot, so go ahead and pat yourself on the back if you made it through it this far. These are just options that are important. And the good thing about these, though, is you can always go back to these as you get more experience with WHMCS, as you get more experience with using the system and seeing kind of what you do and what you don't need. You'll probably go back and edit these several different times. I know running Name Hero, I'm back in here all the time tweaking these to make things work exactly like I would like them. Okay, now after we've saved all of our settings, then it's time to verify our server settings, our integration with our reseller account that we did in the Setup wizard. So we're going to go to Setup, and we want to go to Products and Services and click Servers. So it's right there on the third menu. Okay, you're going to see Simon, which is what we set up earlier. You want to click this little pencil icon right here to get to this area here. Now, this is the name of the server, or the name of the reseller package that you have here. So only you're going to see this. Now, the host name, if you remember, your customers are going to see this, but it's all white labeled, so they're not going to know anything about Name Hero. This is your primary IP address, which is in there. And now we need to enter our monthly cost. So what I like to do is go back into my Name Hero section. Let me go back over to it and click on my hosting package. Click here. Now all of you are going to have different prices depending on how long you sign up for. Some are going to sign up monthly, some are going to sign up every 6 months, some are going to sign up yearly. So like what I like to do is go back into here, click here, and get this right here. See, this is $221.70 semi-annually. So I like to take this number and divide it out monthly. This way, when we're running profit and loss reports inside of WHMCS, then we can see where we're profitable and where we're not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this $221.70 and I'm going to divide it by 6 months. So divide this by however long you purchased. So I'm going to go into WHMCS. My monthly cost is going to be $36.95. Data Center NOC, this is going to be just Name Hero. Maximum number of accounts. Now this is important because I know this is a question that we get a lot at Name Hero. Well, how many accounts can I have on this reseller account? Well, at Name Hero, we allow unlimited accounts to be created with your reseller account, but we only limit you by the disk space and bandwidth that you actually use. So with our corporate reseller, you can use as much as 100 gigabytes of space and as much as 2 terabytes of bandwidth. So you can use quite a bit of resources. Now, because we allow that, doesn't mean that you should fill this full of just millions of sites, because that wouldn't work, right? I like to recommend on the corporate reseller account, no more than 50 accounts. If you're paying $36.95 a month, with 50 customers, you should be well over 100% ROI. So my personal preference is no more than 50 customers per reseller account. If you need to add more, then you add more reseller accounts. Instead of just selling all your disk space to hundreds of customers, I like to separate it per account. So this is up to you though. If you want to have 100 customers on one reseller account, that's cool, but I really recommend no more than 50. Secondly, we need to look at redundancy. when you set up one reseller account, all those customers are essentially on the same node or the same server. Now, if that server would have a hiccup, which is not common at NameHero, but also not unheard of, then all of your customers would have an issue. So if you're running a hosting company, you probably want to diversify by having multiple reseller accounts. So you have multiple servers in here once you get up and going. So that's why I like to just to say 50 customers per account. And that way, if there is an issue on a server, not all of your customers are having the same issue bombarding you with support. Okay, server status address. This is so the status of the server will show correctly inside your client area. So what I do is I go back to my site here and I just verify my URL status works. And you can see it does. So copy this, go back into here and paste this right here. So now this will automatically populate in the client area, showing them the status. Now, if you want to disable this, you can do that here. Let's scroll down. We've got our name servers, but notice the IP addresses didn't come over from the setup wizard. So we want to add those. Let's go back to our client area, click on our corporate hero, scroll down just a bit, and grab these IP addresses. So we're just going to copy this, go back into WHMCS, paste it, go back over here, copy this one here, and then paste it in here. Okay, now we want to scroll down here. And this was our integration that we did earlier in the setup wizard. We can go ahead and just test it to make sure it's successful. If you have any issues with it not being successful, feel free to reach out to our support, but most likely something was entered incorrectly. We recommend using these API tokens, which are automatically generated in the setup wizard, which is why I wanted to walk you through that. Instead of the account password, it's just more secure using API tokens. Okay, go down here, access control. Now this means if you only want the admin to have access to this server, or if you only want certain admins. So this basically if you have a staff, if you're hiring support team members and you don't want them to have information or have access to the server, then you would restrict it. I like just to say unrestricted, and then you can separate that out as you hire staff members. Most all of you probably want it unrestricted for the time being. Okay, now our server is configured, so we're ready to start adding accounts, but there's a couple more configuration settings that we need to do inside of WHMCS just before we get started with that. And that's one of the biggest ones is the help desk. So if we look under support, we can see we're going to have a bunch of different stuff. So this is the tickets that come in. Now we have to actually create support departments because by default it's not. So under setup, we're going to have support departments. So you can see general inquiries. That's already set up, just a general mailbox. Well, we probably want to add one for support. So we're going to click Add New Department. Department name, just call it support. Or if you want to get fancy, call it tech support, technical support. Description, you can add a description if you would like. I'll just leave it blank. Email address. Now this is important because I'm going to show you how to set up what's called an email pipe. So if one of your customers emails this address, it's automatically going to open up a ticket for them in the help desk. It makes it super easy and super friendly. So we're going to call this support at nameherotutorialforyou.com. And assign admin users. Well, we only have one, so just admin. Clients only. I like to do this. If they're not a customer, then you probably don't want them sending support requests, right? Unless they're paying for your services, you don't want to have to provide them support. So this way, if it's not a client and they email support, it's going to send them back an email that says, unfortunately, you're not a customer, so we can't open a support ticket. Pipe replies only require all tickets to be open from the client area. This is if you don't want people to email in tickets, which you probably do. I know at NameHero, quite a few of our customers will just email support and it opens up a ticket. So I like to leave that off. No autoresponder. This will say it will not auto-respond messages for new tickets. I like to leave that on. Feedback requests, send ticket feedback rating request on close of ticket. I like to turn that on. At NameHero, we're very big on customer service, so we like to request feedback from our support techs. Hidden, if you want to hide this department from clients so they can't submit. At NameHero, we do this for like our abuse department. So if someone's abusing a system, they can't really submit a ticket saying abuse, but we use that for internal uses. Okay, this is for the ticket piping for POP3 importing. We're not going to use this method, so we're going to leave this blank and click Add New Department. Okay, this has now been added. Now we want to import or use our ticket importing pipe. So this is very easy to set up. Just bear with me and I'll show you exactly how to do it. I want to go back to our cPanel where we were making our PHP adjustments earlier. Click on the main Name Hero logo, and we want to type in forward, and under email, click on forwards. Okay, inside of here, we want to click on add a forward, and this is where we're going to add that pipe. So anything support at nameherotutorialforyou.com is going to pipe into the ticket system. So we just need to copy this little thing right here, copy it, and paste it right in here. So instead of the forward, we need to pipe it to a program, and then it will be right under there. Delete it out of here, and we put it right inside of here. So this will pipe it to this program automatically for us. And you can see it wants us to remove that little bit in there. So we're just going to pipe it into this directory here. So when piping to a program, you should enter relative path. If it requires PHP, then you should omit it to make sure your script's able to execute through there. So we're going to click Add Forward, and we're going to go back and make sure that it is correct. So we look in here, support goes to home, name hero, WHMCS cron/pipe. So that is set up correctly. Okay, so now we can go back into here. Now, if you want to do one for sales, so maybe you have a sales department. Click Add New Department, department name, sales, description, I'm going to leave it blank, sales at nameherotutorialforyou.com. We only have one admin, so we're just going to keep the admin on there. Now, since this is a sales department, you probably don't want just clients. You want anyone to be able to send to sales, so don't click that. Piped replies only, this makes them log in. Well, that's not good. If they're not a client, they can't reply, so don't do that. Don't send no autoresponder. You want the autoresponder. This is a feedback request. You probably don't want this for sales because if it's a potential customer, they might not be willing to give you a review, or if they say, hey, I want a coupon, and you say, I'm sorry, we don't have any coupons, they might get mad and leave you a bad review, so just leave that off. You can show this to clients, you don't have to hide it, and we're not going to use the POP3, so we'll click Add New. So now we want to pipe this sales email address too, so we're just going to copy this again and go back into cPanel, and we want to add a forward. This time we're going to do sales, go to advanced options, scroll on down here to pipe, and we're going to paste this in. Once again, we need to omit the PHP. Look, and there it is for us right there. And we can click Add Forward and go back, and now we can see it in there. So now both of them are set up. So now if you send an email to sales, it's going to open up a ticket. So let me demonstrate this for you. I've got an email client opened here. So compose an email. So say a potential customer wants to email your sales. Shared hosting. Do you have shared hosting? And they send this to you. Message sent successfully. And now let's see if it shows in here. And it did not. So we have an issue with our integration. Let's see what it says here. Filled to sender. So we can see it looks like a permission denied error. So no worries. We just need to assign permissions to that pipe.php file. So let's go back to cPanel. Let's click on Name Hero. Let's go to File Manager. And from here, let's click WHMCS Data. Let's click in the crons, and we'll see the pipe. See, here's our problem. It's set to 0644. So let's change the permissions on this to 755. Change permissions. Now let's give it a shot. Let's go back to our webmail and compose. Sales at nameherotutorialforyou.com. Test sales. Let's type in test and send it. And now we've got a reply. So you can see it's automatically going to send a test reply. Or actually, this is sending into your address. Thank you for contacting our support team. The support team has now been open for your request. You'll be notified when a response is made. So now if you go in WHMCS and click refresh, you're going to see the ticket shows up in here. So now you're going to be able to make a reply to the user, or your staff is able to make a reply to the user from right inside of here. So it's a very efficient way to handle support. Now, if they're emailing in support and they don't have an account, it's going to tell them that they need to email from the email address where they have their account with us. Okay, so that's how email piping works and setting that up. I'm going to go ahead, and if I wanted to reply to this ticket, this is a test reply to the ticket. Go down here and click reply. And now the user is going to get another email that says, this is a test reply to the ticket. And you can see how well these emails are formatted. Again, this is all customized based on the options we've already entered. And if we have a logo, it will show as well. So now they can get our response back. And if they write back, it'll keep the ticket chain going. So you can see there's no more tickets awaiting reply. So again, it's a very efficient way to kind of handle everything and to really organize your desk and your Salesforce to make sure that everyone gets the right answer when they need it and in a timely fashion. Okay, so now at this point, congratulations, your help desk is set up, the email piping's good to go, but now I want to go in and talk a little bit more about our domain. So let's go to Setup, Products and Services, and go to Domain Pricing. So if you remember, we originally set this just to $14.95. So if we click Open Pricing, you can see we allow for 1 year registration at .com, $14.95 for register, transfer, or renewal. So since we're integrated with Enom, that's where we're going to get our pricing from. So what I like to see you do is go to Enom. Let's just pull it in here. Let's go to Enom and let's log into our account. I've already got mine logged in. Actually, it's going to ask me to log in again here. So Name Hero Tutorial and click Login. Oops. Name tutorial rather, WHMCS, there we go. And now we're inside of our reseller account. Okay, so under resellers, if we click on manage or edit domain pricing, it's right here under the quick link. That's the fastest way to get to this. Now we can see our costs of the TLDs, and there's quite a few of them in here. So you can see there's a lot. So what I like to do is get the main ones handled first. Now, from my experience running Name Hero, a lot of these TLDs are not really sold or used like everyone thought in the beginning. I first thought when I launched Name Hero that it would really, they would really catch on. I really have not seen that. So if we go back here, .com, .net, .org, .biz, .info, those are your most popular ones. You're going to see most of your sales from that. But you want to make sure that your pricing is greater than what you have in Enom. So of course, $14.95 for .com. We've got a nice margin on there. The .net, $11.62, so we're good there. .org, same. Now, if we wanted to add, say, .me, we could do that inside of here. Add the TLD, we would just type in .me, click Save Changes. When we do that, we click Open Pricing, and then we can enable registration for 1 year. Register, well, we go over here to our, bring up our window here, and it's $16.50, so we want to charge more than that. Enom suggests going all the way up to $32.24. I think that's a little high, so let's just make it $19.95. So $19.95, let's just copy and paste that on over and save changes. Okay, so now we have the .me. So we can close the window, go back, refresh this page, and you can see that now the .me is included. So again, you can go through here and add as many of these as you would like. Now, I'm an old school type person. I like to go through and kind of pick and choose what I want to add. There are other scripts and stuff you can use out there to try to bring all these in, but personally, from running Name Hero and seeing the support, I see a lot of people run into errors when they're trying to import all this stuff in there. So what I recommend doing is sitting down, just grabbing the ones that you want for your business and start adding them into your WHMCS. So I think as long as you have these the main ones, that's what's the most important. But then of course you can go through and add some other ones that you think that might be needed. Now, if you want to, you can just go ahead and add them all. But of course, it's going to take a little bit of time. So in this video, we're not going to add all of the new GTLDs and stuff like that inside of here. Okay, with that said, we can spotlight TLDs, make the most popular ones. So WHMCS will make recommendations as people go to register names. So I like to spotlight the .com, the .net, and the .org. I like to use those as spotlights. Lookup provider, you want to leave that as standard, the standard who has lookups. premium domains, you can configure this. This is through Enom. If you want to offer the premium domains through them, you can configure this. I'm not going to by default because in my experience, you know, you have to pick and choose. Are you in the web hosting business or are you in the domain business? If you want to get into all that, then you're more than welcome to, but the average reseller doesn't really miss the premium domains. It is nice they have that feature. The next thing that is important, though, is the domain add-ons. You know, you probably saw this when you were signing up at NameHero. We have add-on fees for DNS management, email forwarding, and ID protection. So let's go back over here to Enom, and we can look here. What I like to do is just type it in up here to register a domain and see what they're charging us. So this is a test1.com. So let's just do that to bring up a test order here. And of course, that domain should be available, but we'll see. And it's taken. What's the luck of that being taken? So let's just change it to a random string there. Okay, great, it's available. So we see $9.95 is our cost. So click Add to Cart, click Checkout, and you can see here, G Suite, no thanks, we don't want to add that. ID protection. So now here's where you see that. The cost to you is $375 a year for ID protection. So if you're going to add that, you want to increase the price of that a little bit more. Now, the reason why I like to have you do this in the beginning, because Enom's actually lowered this, they've increased it, and they've lowered it again. So it's a lot lower than it used to be. So $375. So when we go over into here, our ID protection, you want to make it more than $375 unless you want it to eat into the price of the domain. So why not make it $498 a year? Now, DNS management and email forwarding, both of these are complimentary at Enom, so you can leave these as free for your users or you can charge them. Personally, I recommend charging a small premium. Because a lot of times if they're buying hosting, they're not going to use this anyways. They're not going to use DNS management and email forwarding. So if they're going to use this, most likely they're just buying a domain from you. So it's a good way to kind of make a little bit increased revenue. Now, it's important after you define your prices that you actually assign these add-ons to the domains that you would like. So for example, DNS management, we can want to assign it to these. You pretty much always want to assign the add-on to the primary domains. Same with the email forwarding. Now, the only thing is there is a restriction on domains that can use the ID protection. So I believe most all of them allow it, but there are a couple like .us I believe won't allow it. So you might want to check with Enom on that. You can call their customer service or shoot them a ticket and say, hey, you know, what domains can I not use ID protection on? And they'll let you know. Same with the EPP code. Most all domains use the EPP code. I believe there might be one or two that don't, but I think most do. So you want to make sure after you set your prices here that you enable these here and save the changes. Okay, so now we've done a lot of work on our system. So let's just go take a look really quick and see it, so we can look at our progress. So we're at nameherotutorialforyou.com/billing, and let's enter an example domain. This is an example for Ryan. Now notice I'm not going to put a TLD. Click search. Okay, and congratulations, the .com's available. So now if I wanted to register this, I could click add to cart. And if I want, this is the spotlight. Remember how we set the spotlight up in here? This is going to recommend these TLDs to your customers. So it's kind of just to get more revenue out of them. So they'll say, well, heck, I got the .com, so I might as well get the .net and the .org, and then they can check out. So you can see after we do that, you've got the option to add hosting. Now we have not set up our hosting packages yet, so we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. If we click that, we won't get anything. But now they can choose these add-ons. If they want to add ID protection or DNS management, they can do that. ID protection here. And the name servers. These are the default ones that we set up in our setup wizard. Click continue. And you can see now the user's ready to view their order and pay you. So we can click checkout, and you can see the user now could go ahead and enter their information to create their account. If they already have an account, they can log in. So it's both there. If we scroll down here, you can see they've got the option to pay with PayPal. So, and then they've also got the option to enter some notes and complete their order. So at this point, we've got our system set up to where we can begin selling domains. You're essentially your own domain registrar at this point, and you're getting a heck of a discount using the complimentary Enom account that comes with it here at namehero.com.
Hey guys, so I want to actually run you guys through on what your customers are going to see. So this is the login page, like this is their interface if they're not logged in. Now let's say they want to go ahead and log in to their dashboard. They're going to go to their login and go to login. All right, so this is the customer dashboard that they are going to see. Now I'm also going to show you all how they can install WordPress and anything else that you guys might want to know about what your customers will see. So this is like their domains right here. They can see their domains. They can see like they're expiring, etc. They get notifications right here like, hey, your credit card's gonna run expire soon or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back right here. Now this is the services. Now right here, I'm gonna click active. Now if you scroll down right here, these are like quick shortcuts, kind of like the app installer. Now if they want to actually log in onto their cPanel and install WordPress, they'll need to go right here to log into cPanel. All right, awesome. And they also might get like a little notification like for the first time saying, hey, welcome to your cPanel and stuff. So it's just like I've showed you before to install WordPress. So scrolling down here, you're going to see the app installer, and they can even install WHMCS onto their onto their website or whatever. So right here, we're going to go to WordPress, and then it's the same thing, install now. And then all they need to do is go ahead and put their domain and everything else, and then simply go down there and go to install. Just like we did it, guys, they have the same exact options and features as we do. So the cPanel is the same for basically everyone. So if you guys are wanting to like know how it looks, this is how it looks. If you guys have any questions on their dashboard or anything else, feel free to let me know. But it's pretty self-explanatory. They get everything they can see right here, like their services, their domains, their tickets, invoices, and they'll also let them know if you responded to tickets in their dashboard. Okay. All right. That's all I wanted to tell you guys. Let's go ahead now and go back to the tutorial.
So my next thing is I want to show you how to integrate Stripe. So then we can now also accept credit card payments along with PayPal. I know PayPal allows credit cards as well, but Stripe actually has a nice little integration that will allow them to enter their credit card right inside of here, and just it can be a little bit more convenient. So to add this, we want to go to stripe.com. You can read about Stripe if you're not familiar with them, but they're really the payment provider of choice, in my opinion, in recent years, much because of their quick and easy integration. They accept all the major credit cards, and it's the same processing fee from PayPal. Actually, it might be a little bit less than PayPal. I know they change it based on volume, and they've changed it a little bit in the last couple of years, but really the integration is perfect. And then once you start processing millions of dollars, you can start negotiating other contracts with either Stripe or with other merchant providers. What I like about Stripe though is there's no fee to get started. You just have to pay. It's a small percentage of each transaction. If you click on pricing here, you can see this. Pay as you go, 2.9% of each transaction plus 30 cents. So again, that's like right on line with PayPal. They do have an enterprise. If you start processing those millions, then you can negotiate with them. But what I like about this, there's no setup fee, no monthly fee, or no hidden fees. You only pay what you use, and you have a real-time reporting that shows you these fees. So personally, Stripe is my favorite processor of choice. I've used many different ones over the years. Some where you have to use the authorized.net gateway. You have to pay a setup fee, you have to pay a monthly fee, then there's just fees everywhere. Stripe, there's not many fees. So that's what I like about it, and I recommend you get started with them. And then, of course, once you start doing the millions, you can venture outward. Okay, but to get started here, we want to create an account, unless you already have one. So let's click Create Account. I'm going to use billing at nameherotutorialforyou.com. My full name, or use Ryan Tester. And we're going to enter a password. Now, Stripe, of course, by nature, they're tough on the type of passwords that you need to use. So I'm going to enter it here in another window just so I have it saved. And they want it to be hard to guess, which you can understand why. I am not a robot. Which ones are apartment buildings? This is always fun stuff. Okay, create your Stripe account. Okay, phone verification. They want you to verify your phone number to make sure that you are who you say you are. So they'll text a confirmation to this phone number. So let me do that real quick. Okay, now we've got our code. Sorry about that. It took just a second for me to fetch that from them. Okay, so now this is our Stripe account. It's created. Name, email, phone, and we're off to the races. So we want to go back to WHMCS. And inside of here, we're going to go to Setup, payments, payment gateways. Okay, it's going to ask us to re-authenticate. And now we need to go to all payment gateways, scroll down to the bottom, and click on Stripe right here. Okay, so now we need our secret API key and our publishable API key. So let's go back to Stripe. Click on API, and we've got our secret keys. Dun, dun, dun. We have our publishable keys. We're going to copy this. Now, this is important. These are our test keys. If we want to go live, then we have to set the account to go live. So viewing test API keys, toggle to view live keys. So we want to do the test because we're going to do some testing here so we can pretend like we're submitting our orders. So there's our publishable key here. Let's get our token. Secret key is here. Copy it. Into here. Paste. Display name, I like to call this just credit card. Company name here. This is the descriptor for the credit card statement. Let's use invoice number as well. Company name and the invoice number. Okay, tick to enable showing the Apple Pay option on supported devices. Sure, why not? Click Save. All right, now if we go back to where we were going to buy our domain and refresh, well, we've lost it. Let's go back through here and so I can show you. Search, it's available, check out, add ID protection, to the bottom, continue, check out. Now if we scroll down here, you can see credit card, and now we can enter in our credit card just as we were a customer and process it right here on the page. So now you can accept PayPal, and now you can accept credit cards. And that's really as simple and easy as Stripe is. Just before you go live, you have to toggle this to the live API. So you have to click off of test data and activate your account. So you have to see there's a couple things. You have to verify your email for one, but after the email is verified, then you can grab those publishable keys. But anyways, we're going to leave it like this because after we set up the hosting products, we are going to run some testing. Okay, so let's go back inside of here. And you can also decide which gateway you want to show first. For example, we can just move this up. So Stripe will show first, and then PayPal will show second. So if we go back to our shopping cart and refresh, PayPal will be second and credit cards first. That's how I like to have it. I think, in my opinion, it just looks more professional to where you're asking for their credit card first. Now remember, PCI compliance is not required because you're not storing these credit cards on your server. These are all stored on Stripe server. So while it may look like the data is captured to you, the data goes to Stripe. So it's all encrypted and all very, very safe. So that's how you set up Stripe. It really is that simple and that easy. Now remember, we haven't fully set up PayPal yet because when we receive our first payment, then we're going to have to go through and set up our PayPal account. But now let's talk about setting up our product groups and setting up our web hosting packages, because that's really the meat and potatoes of reselling web hosting. Okay, so we're going to hover over Setup and Products and Services. Click on Products and Services, and this is where all of our products and services we create will exist. So the first thing we need to do is create a group. Create a new group. So this is going to be titled the main category for your web hosting packages. So you can call this shared hosting, you could call this managed WordPress hosting, or whatever fits your business model. So for ours, let's just call this managed WordPress hosting. Now headline, this is just going to show inside of your order forms and such. So we're just going to say select your managed cloud WordPress hosting package, and then a tagline. Here we go. And available payment gateways. Remember, we have credit card, which is Stripe, and PayPal. We're going to use the standard order form template. Remember, we talked about this in our basic settings. We can always go back and change this later, but this is what we want to use for now. And this is hidden if we want to make the group hidden, which we don't. Okay, so now the group has been set, And now we have to create the actual hosting products. So what we need to do at this point is we need to go back into our client area at NameHero. So we're going to go back into here, and we want to go into Web Host Manager. So we're going to click Log into WHM. And one second, I've got to log back in. Let me timed out here. In here, and log in. Okay, so now we're inside of our Web Host Manager, and we have to create our packages first inside of here. So I like to type in add a package right here. Okay, so for this example tutorial, I'm going to create 3 hosting packages. So if I go back to my site here and I look at my main page here, you can see I've got room for 3 packages: Basic, Premium, and Platinum. So I'm just going to use these names since I already have these on my template. And you're going to be able to define stuff like how many sites, how much storage, bandwidth, and all that stuff. So let's set up one here. Back to Web Host Manager, and this one's called Basic. So this quota. Now this is very, very important what I'm about to say. So if nothing else you get in this video, make sure you write this down. Because you're a reseller, the way Web Host Manager is designed and the way we sell our space at NameHero, in order for us to allow you to oversell, you have to specify a disk limit and a bandwidth limit, even if you want to offer unlimited to your customer. So if you wanted to offer unlimited, you would just want to put a bunch of 9s in this field here. Unlimited simply will not work because then we wouldn't allow you the ability to be able to oversell. I know it doesn't make much good sense, but from a technical background, it does. So for the disk quota, for this main package here, I'm going to say 10 gigabytes to start. So that's 10,000 megabytes. So 10, then 1, 2, 3 zeros. Monthly bandwidth, I'm just going to say it's unlimited. So we're just going to put a bunch of 9s in here. Okay, now these other options here, these are what you can, base your selling on, what you want to create this on. So max FTP accounts, let's just say we give them 5, max email accounts 5, email list 5, databases 5, 5 subdomains, 5 part domains. This is a big one, max add-on domains. Since this is our basic package, we only want the user to be able to host one website because this is our starter package. So we're just going to put 0, no max add-on domains. That's a big one there. Okay, the emails relayed, we just keep those at 0. They'll do system defaults. And now we're not going to be able to select a dedicated IP address because since you are a reseller, you would actually have to order the dedicated IP address from NameHero first and then assign it to them. So it's not, and that's the same with shell access. You cannot assign shell access automatically. That's something that has to be done on the root access. So CGI access, of course, you want to allow that so they can run scripts. Digest authentication at creation, we will not check that. cPanel theme, we just have the paper lantern. Feature list, now this is a big one. Feature list is all of the different features that are available into the account. So this is another place that you can make some upsells and stuff. So we'll talk about that after I create this first package. So we're going to go down here and click Add. Okay, and it's successfully added the package. So while we have this on our screen though, let's go make sure we port this correctly into WHMCS. So go back over to here and we want to create our product. So create a new product. Okay, now product type, you can click the drop down and you can see there's 4 different types. Hosting account is what we are going for here. Product group, we only have one group. And the product name, we'll go back to our page. This is the basic host. So we're just going to copy this and paste this in here. Basic host, continue. Okay, now from here we can add our description. So what I like to do is go over to here and grab this stuff here, copy it, paste it in here. And we're just going to do a little bit of basic formatting to make this look real nice. Because this is where we're going to show them how much space they can have, and this is what will display inside of our client area in our order pages. So we're going to make this look nice. Delete this, that, this. So I like to make it look like this. Disk space, disk quota, gigabytes, 10 gigabytes. Now you can see it gives you some HTML tags. If you're not familiar with HTML, you can use them inside of here. If you're not familiar, if you are familiar, then that's pretty straightforward. Add a little bold. Let's format this with a little bold tag here. Okay. Just do some quick formatting here on all of these. And you can change the way this reads. I mean, whatever, this is your business, so you get to create it the way you best see fit for yourself. So since we're allowing 5, we're going to put that by here. And so this basically forces users that want to host more than one website, they would be forced into a higher paying package versus your basic package. And you know what? We should have grabbed this too. So let's grab that. 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, and this is a big one here. Okay, so now we have all the details about our package in here. Now we're going to scroll down. Welcome email. Now this is one of my favorite things about WHMCS. You don't have to spend all evening or all day writing emails. They're already written for you. You just have to select which one. This is a hosting account, so select it. After that, to require domain. Well, yes, to have a hosting package, they have to have a domain, so you want to require and show the registration options. Stock control, this you want to limit the number of accounts you can sell. I don't recommend it. Apply tax, if you live in an area that requires that, speak to your accountant about that, but most of the time in the United States, you pay tax with your company. You can make this more prominent on order forms. So this one's our basic, so we're not going to make it featured. You can also hide it or retire it. That's for when these products no longer exist or you've changed your offerings. Okay, so now we've created the basic stuff. Now we need to go into pricing and add that. So first we have our payment type. Free, we don't want to do that. One time, we don't want to do that either. We want to do recurring. So I like to do monthly, annually, 2 years, and 3 years. That's me personally. So since this is our basic account, let's just say it's $5.95. Now, pricing, you're more than welcome to price your products however you see best fit. That's the good thing about being a reseller. You can use $5.95 or you can go cheaper. But what I'm going to do and what I suggest is start with a low monthly price for your basic, and then not completely low, but allow for some room so you can discount if they pay longer. So for example, if they want to pay annually, let's give it to them at $4.95 a month. So what we would do is we want to take $4.95 and multiply it by 12 so we can put it inside that box. So $4.95 times 12 is $59.40. And then if we want to do every 2 years, let's say we want to do $3.95 a month. So $3.95 times 24 months is $94.80. And then finally, let's see if they want to pay for 3 years, we will go all the way down to $2.95. So $2.95 times 36 months is $106.20. So now they're going to get, if they want to pay monthly, it's $5.95, but if they want to pay more, then they're going to get a much better price. So now we can say allow multiple quantities. You probably do not want to allow that. Recurring cycles limit. This is more used if you're setting up a trial, so don't recommend that. Auto terminate is for a trial. Termination email, that would be for a trial. Prorated billing, I don't really recommend that. Or the date, or the charge next month. I leave that stuff default unless you really get complicated. Okay, so now we need to go into module settings. Our module is going to be cPanel. So we're going to select that. And what do you know? Basic already shows up. Since we have it created already inside of here, Basic is already in there. So it already knows when someone orders, it knows to assign them this package. That's a good thing about WHMCS. It plugs right in. Next, I want to choose this option here to automatically set up the product as soon as the first payment is received. This way it's automated. This way, as soon as they pay, their hosting account is set up. And that's the way you should run your business, in my opinion, because if you have to manually verify them, what if you're sleeping and someone signs up? That would be a really big pain in the butt. So now we're going to save changes. Okay, so now we're almost finished. Let me just walk you through these next steps here. Custom fields, if you want to add an extra form field when they go to sign up, you can. whatever you may need, it's up to you. Configurable options, if you have options that are specific to this. For most hosting products, you're not going to have one for a configurable option, not for your shared hosting. So I really feel like once you get into this, you kind of get into some complications. So I don't really recommend doing that. I will show you how to do an add-on though. Upgrades. Once we have more packages, we can put those in here because they'll be able to upgrade to another package. Say they want to upgrade to a package that allows hosting for multiple sites, then we would list them inside of here. Now, free domain, this is cool because you can offer a free domain registration if they pay longer. So let's do that. Let's say offer a free domain registration or transfer, but renew it as normal. Okay, and you can keep it free too if they renew it, but at first I think if the first year free is good. Now, I don't recommend doing this for monthly because you would actually lose money. But if someone signs up for 3 years, you can offer them a free domain. If they sign up for 2 years or 1 year even, you can offer them a free domain. Just remember that's going to cut into your profit. So maybe you don't want to do it for yearly. Next, you can select which TLDs you want to use for the free domain. Most companies, including us at NameHero, we do this for the top ones, so ComNet, Org, and Biz. Is good. Some of these TLDs are more expensive, so you don't want to offer just all of them. Okay, click Save. Now we can look at other. If you are running the affiliate module, which we did not enable it, but if you wanted to, this is where you would tell the system what the payout would be. It would be the default of the system, a percentage of the sale, a fixed amount, or no commission for the specific product. So that's a pretty good that you have in here that you can add. This is how much they get paid for referring you. So $0 right now because we're not enabling it. You can make it a one-time payout or you can make it recurring. I personally, from my experience, I like to do one-time payments. So I like to do a higher one payment than I would recurring just because it can turn into an accounting nightmare. Okay, this is for subdomain options. If you want to use subdomains, which we're not, this doesn't have downloads with it, so we're not going to worry about that. Overage billings, if you want to enable billings for overages, we don't want to do that, but this is limits for if you want to bill for overages. Instead, we're just going to suspend them if they reach the allocated disk space amount. So now we're going to save. Okay, now we've got our links. These are our product links, and this is what we're going to be inserting into our WordPress template. So when Darrel finishes this tutorial, he's going to show you how to take these and add these into your WordPress template. So when you go to your site and someone clicks Get Started, it's going to link to those products. Use this link to link to these products. So that's it. We've set up our first package. So now we want to set up our additional packages so we can get them all three set up. So let's go back into WHM, to Web Host Manager. The first thing I want to talk about really quick is our feature list. See our feature manager here? By default, you're going to use the default feature list, which is what we offer at NameHero, and we're very feature rich. This includes automatic and free SSL. We include Cloudflare. We include a bunch of stuff. But if you don't want to offer your customers all of that stuff, you can create your custom list. So custom features. Add feature list. So what you can do is you can actually go in here and select the features that you want your customers to have. And so your packages might have different features. Now, most of the time, I recommend just making it different based on the disk space or bandwidth. That's what most hosting companies do. They give everyone everything except they limit the disk space and bandwidth. So this is up to you, but it's a way that you can add additional revenue to your company. So I know Cloudflare is a big one, so maybe you would want to turn off Cloudflare for the basic. Or maybe you'd want to just not allow certain things. So you can click here to select all features and then select off what you do not want them to have access to. And this is inside of cPanel when you create it. But again, by default, they're all going to use the master feature, which comes with everything that we have allowed. Now there's certain things like shell access that they can't access to. So you can go through and read through this and see what's best for you. But as I said, most of the time I like just to use the default feature list. Here's the Cloudflare one that you can give them access to. CP Remote's another big one too, because this is backups that we provide at NameHero. So maybe you want to have an account without backups. Okay, so once that is set, let's go back to add a new package. Add a package. And we're going to get our name. So premium host is our next. So this is going to go into right here. Now, since we did 10 gigabytes, let's go for 20 gigabytes. Monthly bandwidth. Let's just say this is going to be unlimited too. So we'll just type in 9999999. Okay. Now for this one, we're going to allow unlimited everything else, including unlimited add-on domains. So this is going to be our package we really want them to buy. So we're going to go down here and we're going to not tick this stuff. Leave this. Now remember, if we wanted to use that custom features list, we could click it here and we could have those custom features. But by default, it's going to use just the default. You also have the option to do mail only if you want to sell an email only type account. Some customers like to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go down here and click add. And now the package has been added. So I need to go WHMCS. We can go back to product list. And you can see we've got this one. So what I want to do is I like to use this as reference. So we're going to duplicate a product and we want to duplicate the basic host, but we're going to call this one the premium host. So let's go to here. This just basically saves us time, right? This just makes this process go a lot faster. So a premium host is this. So hosting for unlimited websites. This quota is 20 gigabytes. And instead of having, you know what, I didn't type in unlimited bandwidth, and now it's going to be unlimited everything else. So we'll go change this, unlimited, 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 and unlimited. So now they have unlimited everything else with the premium host. So we'll scroll down here and all this stuff's the same. So we'll go ahead and save it. Now we'll go to pricing because pricing's obviously going to be a big difference here. So for this account, we're going to say it's $8.95 a month. And again, you can set your own pricing. That's the flexibility of having a reseller account. But we're going to say if they want to pay yearly, it's $7.95 a month. So $7.95 times 12 is $95.40. Now, if they want to go every 2 years, it's going to go down to $6.95. So $6.95 times 24, $166.80. And if they want to go even lower, they want 7.6 and they'll go to $5.95. So $5.95 times 36, so $214.20. Okay, and save changes. Now our pricing's been changed. Now we need to go to module settings. This is important. You need to select premium or premium host. So you can call it whichever one you would like, but premium host. And let's go back. It went to the advanced editor, back to simple mode. I like to use the simple mode here because it keeps it simple. If you click it, you can see you can go to advanced where you can define all of this. But since it's already done over there for you, there's really no need to do that. So just premium host, automatically set up as soon as the first payment's received, click save. Okay, so we can make sure that saves. Custom fields, leave it as is. Config options, same. Upgrades. Now we're not going to change this because you wouldn't upgrade from basic to premium, so wouldn't do that. Free domain, that's still going to be on here. Others the same, and then we've got our new links. So I want to go back to products, and we need to modify this basic now to have this upgrade. And actually, I forgot to type in unlimited too, so let's do that while we're in here. Save it. And upgrade. So now we've got premium and save there. Upgrade email. You can type this if you want. By default, there is not one inside of there. Okay, so now we need to do one more, and that is for our platinum. So go back into WHM, add package. This is going to be our platinum. We can call it platinum or platinum host. It's just up to you. It's personal preference. Okay, so now we did 10, 20. Now we're going to do 50 gigabytes. So this is your package that you want the people that are using too much space to go into, and they're going to have to pay for it. So that's 50,000 megabytes for bandwidth. We're going to go unlimited, so all nines. We'll make everything else unlimited since this is the big package. Leave these default, all this stuff the same. Add the package. Go back into WHMCS, back to product list. Duplicate a product. We'll duplicate the premium. We're going to call it the platinum host. Click continue. Now we're going to change this to 50 gigabytes of disk quota, and everything else is unlimited. We'll just check it. Go down here and click save. Pricing. This is what we're going to change to increase this now. So $8.95 was that one. So since this one, we know they're using a lot of disk space or more disk space. Now remember, our reseller account only has 100 gigabytes total. So if someone's going to use 50, you're going to be oversold just a little bit. So basically you'll see this, the last package had 20 gigabytes, this one has 50 gigabytes. So you're looking for customers that are about in the 25 gigabyte range. So for this, we're going to make this $10.95 a month. If they pay annually, we're going to make it $9.95. So we will do $9.95 times 12. It's $119.40. And then we'll go $8.95 for every 2 years. It's $214.80. And $7.95 for every 2 years. So $7.95 times 36 is $286.20. Okay, now we are going to save it. Okay, and now we've got our module settings. We need to change this one over to our Platinum host. Click Save. Once again, we've got our links, but now we need to go back into here and we need to go to our Premium and set this one as an upgrade. So Upgrades is the Platinum host. Save. Go back to Product List, to Basic, and the Basic's going to have 2 upgrade options. So click Upgrades, Save Changes. Okay, so congratulations. Now we have all of our hosting packages are now enabled and set up. So if we head over here and we go to our billing URL /billing, you can click Order Hosting and you can see these packages. So these are the packages that we created and you can see how they display. Now you can see select your Managed Cloud Web Hosting package. Doesn't look too good, does it? So let's just call this Managed WordPress Hosting. That doesn't look good at all. So let's go back into here and let's go to back to Product List, back to our group. Let's just call this Managed Cloud WordPress Hosting. Delete that and save. Go back in here. So you're going to find yourself going through and tweaking things as you see fit. And you can see there's the tagline, high-speed solid-state drives, 99% uptime. You can add whatever you would like. Now also, if you want to change how the template it looks, you can click Use Specific Template. And we can make this look a little bit prettier. Click Premium Comparison, Save. Go back here and refresh. And you can see it looks a little bit better, right? Now we can make one featured. So for example, if we want to try to get everyone inside of the premium host, we can go down to Featured. Save Changes. Go back here. Now you can see it's going to highlight it a little bit more. So it's going to try to put emphasis on the premium hosts. So see, that looks a little bit better than the other design. So you can go through and customize that. That's just back to products, right inside of here. You can just, change around these specific templates based on what looks best for your design. The pure comparison. I mean, you can sit here all day and just, make it look as good or however you want. I don't like that at all, though. So let's just go back to what we had. It looked better. And again, these are just the ones provided with WHMCS. You can buy aftermarket ones. I'm not a big fan of aftermarket customizations because when WHMCS upgrades, and they do quite often, you'll lose those changes unless it's done correctly. So just always remember that when you're customizing anything, you want to make sure you're following their documentation and you're doing things in an orderly fashion. So when you upgrade, you don't lose everything, and also that you're able to move along with their upgrades, so it doesn't break your site. But now our hosting packages are created and we can go ahead and I'm not going to do a complete test order yet, but let me show you what it looks like. So we already have that domain in our shopping cart, so we could just use it and go through here. And now you can see we're getting this premium hosting package for 20 gigabytes, unlimited everything else. Now here's where the pricing comes into play. See how we enabled monthly pricing at the beginning? See, this makes a user more inept to choose the 36 month because they're like, man, I can really save here. And plus, I get a free domain if I go with one of these. So it looks smaller, but you're going to get more money up front for this package. So when you click Continue, of course, we have the ID protection. Now you have the option to give them this domain for free, because it was included, and you're charging them for the privacy, you're charging them for the hosting, and now they're ready to check out. So if you've made it this far, give yourself a pat on the back. You now have live hosting packages. So next, I want to show you how to create add-ons to your hosting products, because add-ons are also referred to as upsells, or additional features that you can sell and make a little bit more money per customer. So when we're talking about add-on products, you want to think about other products or other really services that you can offer with web hosting to get a little bit more revenue out of a customer. Now, if you're a local agency or if you're focusing on a local area, what I recommend recommend doing is upselling services like WordPress configuration, search engine optimization, social media management. These type of things really have the ability to upsell because people, they like to do everything in one interface. So if you're already offering domains, you're offering web hosting, but what else could you offer that they don't want to mess with? And I always refer back to my own father as an example. He owns a self-storage facility, and so he knows he needs a domain. He knows he needs a website. He's not going to pay hundreds of dollars a month, so he's going to pay $5 or $6 a month for his website. But at the same time, he doesn't have the time or the staff to go create social media. So maybe you provide some sort of social media setup that you could upsell to a customer, or maybe just initial SEO services, making sure that they have a couple of backlinks in Google and are able to find their pages. So I want to show you how to add those. Now, if you remember when you signed up with us at NameHero, and right here is NameHero, it's on the screen. If you scroll down here and look, one of the add-ons we have is the WHMCS license. Now this is a free add-on, so it wasn't really an upsell. We also have the Drop My Site backup, so that's kind of what would be considered to be like a premium upsell. So there's a couple ways that you can go about this. So let's go into WHMCS, and I'm going to show you how to create these type of add-ons. First, WHMCS has a marketplace. So if we look in here and we go to Market Connect, under Setup, you can offer services like Symantec's SSL services, as well as Weebly Website Builder. So this is new, and WHMCS just started offering this recently. So you'd have to log in and create an account. And so let's just do that right quick. Billing at So I can create an account here, log in. Oh, I need to create an account. So we can do it from right here. Create. Okay. And so now I've got the opportunity to where I can add these type of upsells to my customers. And of course, you have to deposit funds based on what the prices are. So for example, Weebly, we can click here and you can see you can offer all 3 Weebly plans, set up a default recommended retail pricing, changes later, make available for all hosting products, activate promotions upsells, create landing page promos. So there's a bunch of stuff that you can do inside of here. We just went ahead and activated it, click manage, and you can see you are now selling Weebly, and you can activate it based on the package that someone would buy from you. So you can see this is your cost for the starter, this is your cost for the pro, this is your cost for the business. So this is all new from WHMCS, and they've partnered up with these type of companies to offer this. And so this says that this is where the client area where you can promote this in the shopping cart, on checkout, and all that stuff. So it just kind of outlines where it's going to show up inside of your interface. So let's just click refresh here. And you can see here. So more on our checkout here, you can see build your website with the ease of using powerful website builder, Weebly. So they could add this to their cart here, and you've got the Weebly add-on already there. And you can see that's already going to add in the pricing for what they've selected. So let me empty the cart and just show you again how this works. So let's say they want to order the manage hosting. They could click here. They can enter a new domain. Check it. If they want to add another one, they can. Add, continue. Choose our billing cycle if we just want to go monthly. And you can see here's Weebly right here as an upsell already. So if you wanted to offer this to them, it's all right here and integrated really quick. So we just click continue. If without it, continue, and then we're back to the checkout, and it's still going to try to upsell it. So we can go back into here. That's just one. Other ones are SSL certificates from Symantec, GeoTrust, and Rapid SSL. Now, SSL certificates, unfortunately, aren't that big of an upsell anymore because at NameHero, we offer these free and automatic for your customers. So if you want to offer like a more premium SSL, you can, but from what we've seen at NameHero, most people, they just want the free one. And it has taken a little bit of revenue away from our business, but at the same time, it's created a safer network. So really SSL is not that good of an upsell anymore. Email security though, this can be a big one though, because you can offer antivirus and stuff, and this is Spam Experts. And you can kind of see their pricing here. It's really cheap, actually. So we can activate that as well. And it's kind of the same as Weebly. When it gets activated, we can manage it and manage where it's going to be shown, like on the home page, product list, shopping cart. And so you can edit all this so it's not shown on certain pages. So if we go back to our shopping cart and refresh, you can see now we have email security. So there's another add-on. And the thing I like about their marketplace is we're one click adding on to this. Now again, we are going to have to, before we start provisioning this, we would have to deposit some funds into our account. So you can see it's redirecting us now to PayPal, where we would need to put at least $20 into our account so it can withdraw as we make purchases. So that's just, that's the easy way to add upsells, to add pretty good upsells is with their Market Connect. And again, this is a new feature in WHMCS. It's not in the older versions, but I think at least one is the email, you're going to find a benefit from. But if you want to add additional ones, as I said in the beginning, such as SEO services or social media, let me show you how to do that. So we go to Setup, Product and Services, Product Add-ons. So inside of here, you can see Weebly is already added now, and our emails are already added. But let's say we wanted to add a social media one. So we'd call this social media account creation. So we could do something like this. It's going to ask us, do we want to charge tax? Probably not, depending on your local area. Show on order, do you want to show it during the initial order process? Sure. Suspend parent product, if they don't pay for this, would it suspend the parent? No, you don't want to do that. Welcome email. There's not a welcome email for this because it's custom. So I'll show you where to create that here in just a second. So we'll click Save Changes. Next, we want to do the pricing. So for this, upsells are good for a one-time fee, or you can do a recurring fee. So if you want to charge them every month, this is more for management. But a one-time account creation, you might want to do something like this and just do the one-time setup fee of, well, we can just put it in here, $199.95. Save changes. Okay, so we'll go to module settings, and this is other. It's not a hosting account, and you can say automatically set up the add-on as soon as it's received, because you're going to go do it anyways manually. Custom fields, if you need to add some custom fields to this, say maybe some more information from them, you can add that inside of here, or maybe you'll just reach out to them after they place their order. Applicable products, this shows the products that they would want to this is going to show on. So let's just choose our hosting packages here, those three, and click Save. This is if you have a download with it. So if you were maybe going to upsell an ebook or a digital product, you could put that inside of here, which we're not going to. So now when we go through our shopping cart, let's go back here. Let's just empty the cart and start fresh. So we can go to Manage WordPress Hosting. We can click our Platinum host. We can get us a domain, right? Check it. Yes, it's available. Continue. Now when we go through here, we'll see, one, we can choose our pricing option, 36 months. We've got our Weebly option if we want it. And again, we can eliminate this from this page. We can just make it show on certain pages inside of our manager there. And then down here, though, we have our social media account creation. That's now showing. So now we can select that and go down here and just continue. And then we have domain upsells. So you can see where you can advertise a low amount for hosting, but then using upsells, you can really get a lot more revenue out of a customer. From my experience in marketing and advertising, if the customer's in the buying mindset, now is the time to start pitching these type of services that they may need later on. ID protection, click continue. Now you can see we've turned in just a platinum account now into social media account, and we've got ID protection. So now we've got a chance for $485.16. And then once again, we've got Weebly and the email showing up in here. And just as a refresher for that, let me show you where to go. You go to Setup, Market Connect, Weebly, you click Manage, and this is where it's going to show. So if you don't want the show on checkout, just click that off. And then we go back over here. It's not going to show on the checkout. Or wait, the checkout's the next one. It won't show right here. It won't show down here anymore. I'll probably have to clear my cache for that to change. But again, you have full control where this shows on your website. So you're not just cramming it down their throat, so to speak. You want to show this strategically, not every single place, obviously. But now when the customer orders, they're going to have that and plus the add-on. And you can really add as many as you want. Now, I don't recommend going crazy with it. So let's just look at this because we want to make it look presentable, right? So the home page, let's just don't put it on there. Product list, we can keep it in there. Product details, bring it there. And the view cart, we'll leave it on there. So let's do that. I don't think we have to save this. Let's make sure we don't have to. No. Now let's go to here and let's just show this on the checkout. So I'll show it here, 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 the checkout. So now it's going to look a little bit better. Let's click to manage hosting, click our premium, and check it. So I want to continue on. We can select our 36-month price. We've got our Weebly and our email, and our add-on is right here if we want it. Continue. And you can see I've still got my cart full, so continue. And man, I've racked up a lot of stuff in here. So you can kind of see where you can get into really customizing and making things look really nice, and also to make additional revenue. Now, it's important to note too with these upsells that you're having to pay Weebly and the email security a price. So that's why you have to deposit funds into your account. So if I don't think it shows on this one here, but in the email security, I think we have to go in there and manage it as well to get the pricing. But so that's important to note, though, that you have to have the funds available. So like you're not going to get paid all that money. You have to pay out to these guys first. So they do require that. So that's important to note. Well, that you have to actually pay for Weebly, pay for the email stuff before you can actually use that stuff. So that's important to note. Now, the good thing about stuff like the social media management is there's no fixed cost in that. It's only revenue to you. So that when you're doing add-ons, kind of think about stuff like that. Another one that we use at NameHero is a dedicated IP address. So if you go over here to NameHero and you click on our basic web hosting, maybe our starter package here, if we just enter, I'll just use namehero.org, and we scroll down here, we can see a dedicated IP. That's one of our bigger upsells. So you can upsell dedicated IPs too. And the good thing about NameHero is when someone orders it, you just reach out to our team and then we'll assign it to their account for you. So you don't have to worry about any of that. Our cost to you is $29.95 a year. So you could charge $39.95 a year and make $10 more. But then again, you can just order it from us after your customer pays. So that's kind of a benefit to upselling that way, is you don't have to pay, deposit funds in advance like you do for Weebly and the email security. So that's just important to keep in mind when you're doing that and when you're setting that up for your customers. So next, I want to talk a little bit about promotion codes, though, because we're seeing that quite often. So let's talk about where we go to set that up. But actually, real quick, before we do that, I want to show you where these email templates are for our custom add-ons. So under Setup, you'll see email templates. You can go down here and look, and you can see general, product services, domain, invoice, admin, support. So all the email templates, these are already written for you, and you can go in and modify them as you see fit. So like other product or service welcome email, we can click on that, and you can see this is what it says here for these. Dear client name, your order has been activated. Please keep this message for your records. So this is what we could use for our social media management, but we could also add stuff in here like our team will be contacting you for a consultation to set up your social media and customize it how we see fit. But then we go back up to here to products and services and product add-ons. And then we could assign that email to this. So that was called other product or service welcome email, and save it. Okay, and then we could rename that email to say social media account creation or whatever makes the most sense. So we're able to, have full control over that. So now I want to talk about how to add promotional codes, because you've been seeing that through every example order that we've done thus far. You see a box for a promotional code. So if you look right here to your left, you're going to see a link called promotions. And I believe it's also in Setup, Product and Services, and it's then in I thought it was over here as well, but no, it looks like it's just under the payments menu. So set up payments promotions where it is actually. Okay, so you can get to it either there or this left-sided link. I personally always use this one here because it's right there in front of my face all the time. But now this is where we can create a coupon code to better our marketing. So if we want to include this on our website, we can, or we can include this out in our marketing around the internet to give people an incentive to sign up. So we're going to click create a new promotion. And you can make the code something they can remember, or you can auto-generate the code. So that's, I like to do this here if I'm running a special for a certain time of the year. I know we're gearing up for Black Friday here at Name Hero, and so we'll have coupon code Black Friday and offer a nice percentage off. So then you can do a percentage, a fixed amount, a price override, or a free setup coupon. So we're just going to do percentage so we can use it for all of our packages. And next you can say, well, is this a recurring promo or not? Is it with next billing cycle, is it going to renew at that same rate or not? If you enable it, then it will do it for the first billing cycle, the second billing cycle, or however many, or it will be a one-time promo. So we're just going to make a one-time promo here for 25% off. So we're just going to enter 25 since it is percentage. It's just the percentage. It's going to apply to the following products. We want to use just the hosting products. So we're going to use our command key. And this is for our basic, platinum, and premium can use this code, and we'll copy it to get 25% off. And it's just for that first billing cycle. So down here, if you want to require a product, so maybe if you're offering this for the Weebly website builder, maybe you offer a promotion if they already have your platinum product, and you could make it require that. We go down here, we can allow existing products in the account to qualify for promotion. So if the customer is already working with you, you could allow them to take part of this promotion. Now, billing cycles, so sometimes you might not want to make it available for the monthly rate, and you make it only available for the 6-month or the 12-month or 2 years or what have you. So I'm going to make it available, if we didn't do semi-annually, for the monthly, annually, biannually, and triannually billing cycles. For domains, this is if it's a domain registration, which this isn't, so we're not going to select that. This is a start date, so we can click the start date, so it's only valid starting today, and then we can set an expire date, so maybe it's valid for, I don't know, a couple months. So a couple months. Maximum uses, we can say, well, this will only be used 10 times. After 10 times, the promo no longer exists. And this will show us the number of uses currently. Lifetime promotion, discounted pricing is applied even on upgrade and downgrade orders in the future. So I don't really like to do lifetime promotions because you never know when things change, what you're going to want to add. But of course, it's up to you. You're flexible. You can be as flexible as you would like to be. Apply once. In case you get someone that wants to order multiple hosting packages, you might want to only apply it once in the cart so they don't get discounts on everything. Now, me personally, I like to limit a lot of product promos just to new signups, to new customers only, so they have no previous active orders. I like to apply it once per client, and again, you can mix and match these to find your right combination. And of course, you can do existing client promos. And then finally on the upgrades or downgrades. And so here's the admin notes. So just for quick reference, I like this to do, this is 25% off hosting first billing cycle. And this is just for your usage. Click Save Changes. So now, if someone comes to our website, and let's just go to the main page. Actually, let's make sure our cart's empty. Order hosting. We'll see if our cart's empty when we get here. Platinum hosts. We'll register a new name. Check. Continue. And we can go down here and we'll see our add-ons again. We can continue on without any ID protection. So then we can add our promo code into here, validate the code, and now you can see promotion code accepted, your order total has been upgraded. So now we have a domain registration and our hosting, but we have our one-time discount applied to the cart. So now the user is going to save money. And so you're going to increase your conversion rates by adding promo codes like that. So now we could go to checkout and the user could register their account and get set up. And again, this is going to set up instantly once they do that. So at this point, I would like to test the order flow for you and show you how that works, so you can see in real time that we actually built a functioning website. So the first thing we need to do, though, is we need to fund our Enom account. So if you have not done so yet, this is a good time to do it. You need to fund it with at least $25. So give me 1 second while I pause this video and put $25 in this account so we can do a test. I've now funded my Enom account, but there's some important options that I want to run you through really quick that you need to do inside of Enom. So click My Account and go to Account Settings. So there's some defaults in here that you need to take away from here. One, you can enter your website URL if you would like, you should. But then there's some defaults that I don't like and you need to change. So transfer lock, enable transfer lock on all new registrations. I do recommend that, that's smart. Enable 60-day transfer lock when domain contact info is updated. You probably want to turn this off because that might give you a support nightmare. Who is contact protection? You probably want to turn off this so it's not automatically added for new registrations. Attempt to auto renew all domains. You do not want to do that. Attempt to auto renew within 30 days expiration. ID protect. You want to turn all that off because that's upsells and they add all that in by default. So click save because you don't want to automatically be renewing your customers' domains for them. In the system, WHMCS will automatically notify them and then they'll have the option to renew it or not. But you want to make sure you don't get stuck with those costs. So then there's some other stuff. You can have it notify you when it drops below the balance, your domain pricing, stuff like that. But that's the most important stuff. Okay, so now I want to run through a test setup. So I've got my handy dandy Stripe account here, but in Stripe here, if I go to stripe.com/doc/testing #cards, you can see I've got test credit card. Since we're using the test API tokens with Stripe, we want to use a test card. So we're just going to use this test Visa card when we go to do our sign up. Okay, so we're going to start on just the main page of our WHMCS. So we are going to register Name Hero Tutorial. Search. It's available. Add to cart. Check out. Add hosting, of course. Add the hosting. We want to go for our premium host. So we're going to use Name Hero Tutorial. Use it. Okay, so now we can scroll down here. Since we've got a credit card, let's just go for the 36-monther. Go down, we can add Weebly or the spam experts if we'd like. I'm not going to add those, but you can also add the upsell for social media account creation. I'm not going to. We're going to click continue, and then we've got the option to offer or to add ID protection. We'll go ahead and do that. Click continue. And you can see now we are at our checkout. So we can add our promotional code if we would like, and I didn't write it down, so let me grab it. And let's paste that in here. Paste, validate the code. And you can see we're saving a good bit. That's another benefit to promotional codes, especially if you're offering a couple years. It knocks a good bit off of the price. So we can click checkout. So now I want to enter my information. So my phone number. I'm not going to enter that. Select our state. That, United States, domain registration info, use these details below. Create us an account password. Okay, and once again, we're asked if we want to add this. And again, you can go back and modify where this is shown. It's just trying to almost force it. But with the credit card, we're going to use our test number at Stripe. So since we have the test enabled, we're going to grab the test number and we're going to paste it in here. So for expiration date, we can just add 12/2017, CVV 123, order notes, complete the order. And now we are shown our order confirmation. So now we can continue to the client area And you can see this is now the back end of WHMCS. This is what your customers will see, where you can see I've got one service now, I've got one domain. So let's go to the services and check it out. So I can see my handy dandy NameHeroTutorial.com is there. My price is active. I can click on it. And you can see I've got all these different options here. So I can visit the site, manage the domain, or look at my Who Is info. I've got quick shortcuts to cPanel to carry out any of these tasks that need to be done for my site. If I scroll down here, I can quick create an email account, and I got a billing overview. So everything has been set up quite nicely. Now I can go to domains and look at my domains. And I can see that Name Hero Tutorial is there. And you can see if I go to it, it's already propagated. So now I'm really off to the races here. I'm ready to start accepting customers. Now, if we go into WHMCS, we're going to see that one pending order. We can click it and we can see here's my order. Everything was set up successfully. And so now as the administrator of the site, you'd want to check over this. And I always recommend this to resellers that when you get a new order, you need to take a look at it and make sure everything looks good. So make sure that they have an address and everything looks legitimate. And everything does look good here. The status is active on both of these. The payment status completed successfully. And again, we were using a test card at Stripe. And so once everything looks good and it looks like that everything created correctly, you can click Accept Order. And now, that's all there is to it. You can use the into DNS to make sure they entered their name service correctly. And you can see they're using your private name servers that you set up. And really, it's all good to go. Now, there is one thing that I would like that you want to add to white label this 100%. And if we go to our client area, we go back here, and we go to log into cPanel, we're going to see that Name Hero still shows up there, but have no fear, it's 100% white labelable. So we still need to do that. So let's go back to our area in Name Hero. And this is our main dashboard for our reseller account. Let's click Log into Web Host Manager, and let's type in Customize, Customization. So right here is where we are going to make this look good. So we have our company name. So remember, we just use web hosting company name. A help link. So this is for our help desk. So the URL must include HTTP. So we can go back to our page here, and we can go to support, knowledge base, announcements, wherever we want to have it. So let's just say knowledge base. Let's go back here into Web Host Manager and make that our help link. Actually, that's going to be our documentation link. Our help link would probably be the ticket. So open a ticket. We will add this here. And company logo and webmail logo. So if you don't have one, then what you can do is you can just Google cPanel, or you can ask us and we'll give you a cPanel logo. But I just Googled cPanel and grabbed the cPanel logo. Same with webmail, just Googled webmail and grabbed the webmail logo. Now these probably aren't scaled to fit, but the optimal image size is 250 by 50. So that's something that you're probably going to do. You're probably going to want to have, maybe get on Fiverr and have someone make you a custom logo. But once you do that, if we go back into here and we click log into cPanel, you're going to see it's probably going to be cached here. So I'm going to have to flush my cache for it to show up my new logos here. But once this does get refreshed, this will be my logo and not Name Heroes. Let's see if I can't hard force it here. I might have to actually empty the cache. Yep, there we go. So now you can see we just uploaded a cPanel logo there. So it doesn't show anything. There's nothing in here now about Name Hero. This is NameHeroTutorial.com as we signed up, and it's completely white labeled. So again, if you can just use cPanel's logo, or you can have your own made. I prefer to see you have your own made, just so everything is white labeled. But now, you're pretty much ready to go. You're pretty much ready to start selling web hosting. There's not a lot of other stuff that you need to do, but there are some stuff that you need to be aware of. One is fraud activity. So when we talked about the order, let's go back to the order here. And we were looking at this, we can enable fraud functionality to make sure that you're not getting fraudulent orders. Now, those of you that really, grab this tutorial and take it to heart and start working with it, you're going to notice that you do have some fraudulent transactions come through if you're not careful. So if you go under Setup, you can go into Fraud Protection down here at the bottom. There's a fraud module here called MaxMind or Verilogic's fraud call. MaxMind's probably the most common, but it's not free. So you actually have to go over to MaxMind and sign up with an account with them to get a license key. So you need to go over here to sign up and sign up for their fraud protection services. It's very cheap though, and it's very affordable. You can see it's like a penny, or not even a penny, half of a penny for the fraud score. So you can get a credit amount of say $25, and they'll give you 5,000 min fraud score. So that really will, $25 will last for 5,000 orders. But that's what I recommend doing if you notice a lot of fraud coming into your system. This is not a requirement, but it's just something over time that you're probably going to want to do, is you're probably going to want to add in a fraudulent protection module. And the same thing with the Verilogic's fraud call. It's a little bit more expensive because it's actually going to call the user to make sure that they are who they say they are. And you'll have to go to their site, though, to set up an account there. So both of those are optional. You have to use one or the other, though. You can't use both. I recommend going with the MaxMind if you see a lot of trouble with it. But many of our resellers at NameHero, they'll just kind of watch it at first. And a lot of times, you can tell when they come in if they're a real customer or not. And, especially if you're just starting a new business, it doesn't hurt to call. Call the new customers before you click accept and say, hey, I saw you signed up. I just wanted to welcome you. Could you tell me a little bit about your business? That really may speak wonders to them as well. I also want to show you how to add to the knowledge base though. You'll notice here inside of our account, we have support and knowledge base. So you can put a lot of articles inside of here answering questions that people may give you about your hosting company. So if you go back into your WHMCS, you can go under support, knowledge base. And right here is where you can create categories and articles. So we can add a new category, and let's just call a category WordPress. Add category. So inside of here, we can add articles about how to install WordPress. And we could write an article here about how we would go about installing WordPress. So now we wouldn't have people asking that question in our support department. So we could walk them through in our knowledge base. So instead of them having to submit a ticket or ask us, they could do it themselves. And I'll just type in test here so I can show you how this formats. If we go back over to here and refresh, now you can see WordPress, how to install WordPress, and you've got this nice little article that's right here. And you can see they can even vote yes or no if it was helpful or not. So I definitely highly recommend that you do that and spend some time on your documentation, because that's really going to make a better experience for your end users. Another important thing about the support section here is the announcements. If you're going to, by default, it shows the thank you for choosing WHMCS. So if we go back over to our site, we'll see this on the home page here. You can see the announcements right here. Thank you for choosing WHMCS. Now you probably don't want that. So you can go in here and delete that, okay? And you can write your own announcement. So maybe a good one is welcome to my new hosting company. And then you can write all about your new company and put it inside of here and click published and save changes. So now, instead of seeing the WHMCS, you'll see the welcome to my new hosting company. So that's, an important thing to do for your customers, so they, have a little bit of interaction with you. And you might choose not to post announcements in there, but that is definitely how you do it, if you do have those type of announcements. I also want to show you something that we put in here. If you go under support and click network status, you're going to see that they're able to see your server to make sure everything is online. So that's something that we configured earlier on, but I did not show you what the finished product looks like. Now you'll see up here, there are no network issues currently. In the rare event we have a network issue at NameHero, we also update our status page. So instead of having your customers call you or submit tickets if there's something going on, which again is a rare occurrence at NameHero, but sometimes we do scheduled maintenance, you can create those in here under support, network issues, create new. So you could create here if there was an issue come up, or if you see us planning a maintenance at NameHero, you might just want to copy over our announcement to your customers so they know that, on Tuesday at 10 p.m. we're going to be doing some maintenance, which might require a reboot, or maybe it might cause a little bit of a lag. We find that by doing that at NameHero and being more proactive, that it creates a much better user experience for all of your customers. So that's just kind of how it's the same type of editor to do the network issues as it is to do the announcements, as it is to the knowledge base. So those are three very important things that have been built into WHMCS to really allow you to customize this entire experience for your customers. And again, I am still logged in right now as a customer. So this is something that your customers are going to see. So for example, notifications, your credit card expires in 60 days. Because remember, I used the December credit card. So if I do that, I can go into billing and go into my invoices, and I can take a look at where I paid. But there's a way in here I can go in to manage my account as well. So I can change this up. Now remember, we chose not to store the credit card, so you're not going to see that inside of here. They're not going to be able to actually change their credit card from inside of here unless we enable that on our server, which we'd want to get that PCI compliance before doing that. But they do have tons of security options here, such as single sign-on. This is when you log into cPanel itself. You can do it from right inside of here, inside of the services. So, I like to leave that on though, because it's a really big advantage to being able to log into cPanel and doing that, and to logging into webmail. They can, and I've already expired my session, but I can get into cPanel from right here, and that's just such an important to have that single sign-on. That way, you're not dealing with all those logins. It's also important to note that if you click email history, you'll see that all the emails that you send them are archived. And so at NameHero, when we have a customer that says, hey, you didn't email me this. Well, yeah, we did. And as a courtesy, we make sure that we put it inside of here for you. So then you can go check it out in here for yourself. And you don't have to just take our word for it. Those are there. So at this point, I want to answer, at this point, we're about where we want to be for WHMCS, but I want to answer some additional questions that I know we are going to be receiving about this tutorial. So the first thing is transferring domains in. So maybe you have domains at other web hosts, and now that you own your own hosting company, you want to bring them over. So you can manually create orders. So if we go to orders, we can go add new order. And we can we can use the account that we created, say mine, and we can do a domain transfer from inside of here. So this is for product or service, or we could do domain registration. So if we want to transfer a domain over from another provider, we would do this right here. So we would enter the domain we wanted to transfer, just say sample domain. We would want to transfer it for maybe a year. Now we would need to get the EPP code. So if your domain is registered with GoDaddy or Namecheap or another provider, you'd want to log into their interface and get this code. Now per ICANN requirements, they're required to give this to you, so they can't hold your domain hostage or nothing like that. They have to give you that code upon request. But once you have that, you could just paste it in here, and then you could select any of these add-ons that you would like to add, such as DNS management, email forwarding, or ID protection. But here's the important things, like registration price. If this is one of your own internal domains, you would just enter 000. Now you're still going to have to pay from your Enom account. It's still going to deduct the funds from your Enom account, but this way you don't have to pay in your system. You're going to pay your wholesale price. Renewal price override, kind of the same thing. You're going to have to pay in your Enom account, but you could enter 0.00 so you don't have to pay in your system. So that's how you manually submit an order for a domain transfer or even a registration if you're just buying a name for yourself. And you could click submit order. And so you could untick here, send invoice or generate invoice or send an email, because if it's just for you, there's no need to. Now, on the other hand, if your customers want to transfer domains, once they're registered with you and already have an account, they can go in here to register their domain or transfer a domain from right here. And it's the same thing you see on the back end, that they would just enter their domain, the EPP code, and go through there. Now, if the customer is not registered, I can log out and show you. They can do it right here. So say they had a domain they wanted to transfer, say like namehero.org. They could click transfer, And it's going to take them to this page here where they would just need to do the EPP code and then go ahead and register. So that's how they can move stuff over to your hosting company and how you can move your stuff over as well. Now, it's also important to note at NameHero, we provide 10 free cPanel to cPanel migrations for free within the first 30 days of your account. So if you've created a reseller account with us and you've followed this tutorial and you've built out your own reseller hosting business, it probably makes sense that you don't want to keep your websites hosted at other places. So all you have to do is go into your account panel with us at NameHero. Let me see if I still have that here, and submit a ticket. So we'd go to support and tickets. And you would go to open a new ticket down here, open ticket. And you would open a technical support ticket for migration. So we would go to here and we would type in new migration, technical support. You would select your corporate hero, priority, whatever it may be, and put So you do something like this. So I'd like you to migrate over my existing sites. Here's my current login. And then you'd provide us your login and pass. And then we would go in and begin that work for you. Now, again, this is free for your first 10. If you have more than 10, we can provide this at a fee. Just submit the tickets. Let us know that, hey, I want to do the first 10, and then let me know how much for the next 10, 20, or however many you have. And our team will look at it and get back to you with a quote before we go doing it. We'll let you know how much it costs. So that's a common question. How can I bring over my current websites? And that's a good question, actually. Another important question that I have written down here is what happens if you run out of space on your reseller account? So at NameHero, we don't provide upgrades, so to speak. So if you're allowed 100 gigabytes of space with our corporate reseller. Let me go over to our packages. So our corporate, you're allowed 100 gigabytes of space. Now, since you're reselling, you don't want to wait until you're at 100 gigabytes to start doing something about it. Instead, you want to go buy a separate reseller account. So let's say when you reach 80 gigabytes, and you're going to see this inside of your NameHero panel. Let me go back over to that. So you'll see it inside of your NameHero panel, right about here. You'll see your disk usage on this chart here. Once this starts getting to like 80 gigabytes or 80,000 megabytes, then you probably want to order an additional package. And that's why we have the Startup and Entrepreneurs, because here's 50 gigabytes more or 75 gigabytes more. And then you would just go through the same process in your WHMCS as we did initially to adding it. So we go to Setup, Product and Servers, and down to Servers, and we would just add a new server. So we would follow that same process that we used to set up our first reseller account to add the second one. And WHMCS is smart enough, you can tell it to fill the least full account. And so as you start to approach your disk usage, you add another account, you put it inside of here, and WHMCS will automatically handle it for you. So that's common questions we get. What if I do if I run out of space? Well, it's a little bit of a proactive management. If you start to encroach on this, then you definitely want to upgrade. I also mentioned at the beginning of this tutorial, I only recommend really 50 accounts for the corporate reseller account, mostly for redundancy. Now, if you want to add more, then you're more than welcome to. But if you want to create a really high available network with 100% uptime or close to 100% uptime, I really feel like diversification is key in doing that. So that's something that you may want to look into. Now, another question that we get quite often is, I'm not really sure about support. I can follow this tutorial and do all this stuff, but when my customers ask support, what do I do? Well, one, you can pretty much every support request you get is pretty much, you can Google it a lot of times. You can just start Googling the question and start researching the answer. If that doesn't work, then you have NameHero. So here's your support desk. As you get questions, you can come into your NameHero account and you can go into our support ticket and open a new ticket with us and just simply tell us the issue. So go to technical support, let us know your client's issue. We'll help you solve it. Then you can go back into your WHMCS and tell them that you have solved the issue for them. And you don't have to let them know that you even mess with us. So the support, on one hand, you can handle most of it by Googling it. Most everything is out there. At namehero.com/startup on our blog, we have tons of articles and hours of videos with almost every issue that you will run into. But if you can't find it on Google, you can't find it on NameHero, you can't find it in Knowledge Base, then just ask. And we're more than willing to help you out. Also, in WHMCS, you can go to Staff Management, Administrator Users. I've got to re-authenticate here. You can add additional users to your WHMCS. So you can see there's a couple different roles. One for support operator. So if you get big enough, you might decide you want to hire some help. And that's very common. So you could hire a support operator. Maybe you find them on Web Hosting Talk, or maybe you just find them on Craigslist. You want to vet them. It's with hiring anyone, but you could give them access to your WHMCS to where they could come in and help you out. So, you've got NameHero to help you. You've got our knowledge base, our blog, our YouTube channel. So you've got all these different levels to help you out with support, because I know that's one of the biggest questions we get is, what happens, if I need that type of support. Now, it's also important to note that we've provided this tutorial to really help you get started with your business and to, help you know the ins and outs to reseller hosting and, how you go about getting started. But there's one thing. We don't own WHMCS at NameHero, so we can't provide you support outside of the initial installation because they encrypt the files. So if something's broken or you have an error somewhere in WHMCS, you can ask us and we can take a look, but you also have the full support of WHMCS behind you. So if you hover over Help here, you can scroll down to Get Help, and you can see here they've got documentation, tutorials, they've got a forum, and they have a ticket center. So you can click Go, and if you have a support issue, you click Support. Maybe it'll come up here. And installation, let's see down here, submit a support ticket. Right here. Now it's going to want you to log in, so this is not where you want to go. Let me go to our welcome email. So there's a special link is where I'm getting to for WHMCS that they have a support desk set up just for our customers. So if you click right here, and you will see this message about WHMCS support right here. So here's the link to your ticket desk for WHMCS. You can submit a ticket to them and ask them questions about your WHMCS, and it's called reseller support. The only thing is you have to reference your WHMCS license, which you can find it right inside of here, under add-ons. So you have to reference this license key just so they know where you came from. So in here, you would scroll down here. I think it's actually on the second page now. They've changed this up a little bit. So once you get to the second page, it's going to ask for your admin URL, your admin username and password, as well as that license key. So you just want to give that to them. So that's another layer of support that you have. You're fully supported. So if you're, maybe a little bit intimidated, because we did cover a lot in this tutorial, but you have all these different resources available to you to, really dig in and to get support and to, really to be able to manage your business. But that's, I think we've covered pretty much everything from A to Z that you need to get your web hosting company online and to get it fully functioning and to really jump in and get started. It's important to note that you'd want to turn off test mode and you'd want to get your live API credentials. It's also important to note that after you receive that first PayPal payment, you want to go fill out that information to complete your PayPal registration. But besides that, you're ready to go and start running your business as you see best fit. And being a reseller, the good thing is you have all this flexibility, to where you're not really just limited to doing one or two things. You're really limited only to your imagination. So with that said, I'm Ryan Gray. I'm the founder and CEO of NameHero.com. I do recommend that you head over to our blog if you have questions. So you can just click at the top of NameHero, and you can see on here we have a new training center. So you can click this. And we have tons of resources for resellers. So you can enroll in this course as well. So I think Darrel's done a very good job with this tutorial. And we've covered a lot in this tutorial, but I also have materials in here that will help you. And all throughout our blog here, We're always blogging and very active on that with helpful stuff. And we also have a YouTube channel that you can go to where we also cover a ton of material inside of there. So we've got all these different resources available to help you as much as possible. So make sure you take advantage of those. And then of course, if you have a problem that we're not answering somewhere, just submit a ticket and let us know. Give us a call, hit us up on live chat. And that's really what we're here for, is to make sure that you're not in this business alone. You're in this business with full support. But with that said, thanks a bunch for watching. I do wish you the very best of luck with your reseller hosting business. And it's my absolute pleasure to be on this journey with you. So thanks a bunch for watching. Once again, I am Ryan Gray with NameHero.com.
Hey guys, so now I'm going to show you basically how you can intertwine your website with WHMCS. So for example, we have these pricing tables right here. Now maybe you want to intertwine these with your pricing tables that you personally created on your website. So basically all you really need to do, guys, is kind of like mix and match the permalinks everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and enable this visual builder. And I'm going to go ahead and say, maybe I want the basic host. Let's do that. Order now. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this link. I'm going to go down here to my basic host. I'll go to my settings, and I'm simply just going to insert this link right here. And then just go to OK. And that's it. And we are all done. So basically, guys, we're intertwining our website with WHMCS. So we're sort of combining the WHMCS platform with our own to sort of bring it one unique website. So right here, if I go to the basic host and I go to get started, it's going to take me to that package. Okay, so if you want to do it like that, you're more than welcome to. You can always do it like, however you want it. This is your website. So if you want to just, use the WHMCS platform, you're more than welcome to do that. But if you want to start intertwining stuff, like for example, I have a domain tab on one of my websites right here, and I actually use it for the domain section right here. So register a new domain. You can basically take this whole section and just add it to your menu, and it'll just take them to that page. Now, I also showed you how you can put this right here as your logo. So it'll actually link back to your primary WordPress website. So you can kind of combine those two to utilize it and make it look really good, because you want to make it look like one giant website. And they have tons of templates, guys, that, will, help make it look like one website. So hope that was helpful, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the tutorial. Hey guys, so I want to also show you something else that you might run across a lot. So right here you have your logo, and if you click on it, it's going to bring you back to this section right here. Now if you want to be able to actually click on it and link them back to your primary website, like for example, you can link them anywhere you want. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So for example, maybe you want to link them back to your original domain. So for example, you want to link them just to this one right here. So for example, if they click on web hosting company, it'll bring them back to this website, right? So if you want to accomplish that, I'll go ahead and show you how to do that. So you're going to have to go to your cPanel, all right? And you're going to go to your file manager. And you're going to go to your public HTML. And then you're going to go down to your billing or whatever your folder is called. And then after that, we're going to go to templates. And then we're going to go to 6. Now we're going to find the header. I believe it's called the header TPL file. Let's see right here. Did I pass it? I think I passed it. Yeah, there it is. Okay. And I'm going to edit this folder really quick. Now, guys, one more thing I want to recommend. If you don't feel comfortable in this section, or you're not sure, or you don't want to be here, just hire a developer or someone from Freelancer. They can do it for you. But here, I'll just show you how you can basically link them to the website. So right here under line 93, 94 for me right here, you guys can see I have like the asset logo path, nameherotutorialforyou.com, and then right here the logo and all this text right here. So right here, all I really did was just put in the logo. I'm sorry, the domain right there. And then I'll put a little dash, and then, just so you guys can see how it looks. So it must look exactly like this, guys, okay? So the HTTPS, and then my dash, and then my domain right here. And I'm gonna go to save changes up here on the top right, okay? So now going back over here, if I go to I'll go to my billing right here. All right, and now if I click on this, it's going to actually bring me back to nameherotutorialforyou.com instead of -billing, because by default it'll actually just keep you on this little thing. So you're trying to basically intertwine both websites together, you know, WHMCS and also your original domain. Okay, so that's all I want to show you guys. I hope that was helpful. I'm pretty sure people are going to ask me how to do that. And also, guys, make sure to check future tutorials. I'm going to have a lot more tutorials for WHMCS, just like small things that people run across that I might not cover in this tutorial. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. Let's go back to the tutorial. Alright guys, well that is the end of the tutorial. Now there are some things I want to show you all and additional resources that will help you along with your web hosting websites. Now let's say for example you want to change the look and feel of WHMCS, or you just have problems with it, like something's just not working properly. You guys can always hire a developer from, you know, Fiverr for like $5. All these links, guys, are in the description of this video. So these guys will help you with problems with WHMCS, or let's say you want to modify the look of it. You want to, like, you know, add something or change something. A lot of developers from Fiverr and also freelancer.com can help you with these issues. So let's say, for example, it's just not working, you know, and you want to change like the style of it. These people can help you out. So you guys can also go to Advato Market. They do have some HTML templates for WHMCS, but again, remember, you will need to hire a developer, guys, because that's more HTML and that's more coding. So you know, it's really easy though, and these people are really reliable. I hire them all the time, so it's just a matter of looking and finding someone that can actually help you out with WHMCS. Okay, so that's about it, guys. I hope this tutorial was helpful. I hope by now you guys have a fully functional web hosting business. And guys, don't think that you guys can't like be the next like you know, HostGate or something. You know, everyone out there starts out really, really small, and eventually they become something really big. And you know, anyone can do it, you know, so it's just a matter of you trying and giving the efforts. Okay, all right guys, hope this video was helpful. I'll see you guys later.